And good afternoon. This is KJ's What Happened. I'm KJ, and welcome to the show. We're still here after all this time, but we're still here on YouTube in some capacity. I haven't touched the main channel in a while, and I probably won't. I've found a new home and a bunch of other platforms, and most of you know that. There's links below if you'd like to find some of those. Speaking of which, the new version of KJ's What Happened, I'm showing you guys everything I would normally show you, except for the information on that forbidden subject, the potion that they want everyone to take. I'm doing a separate show called Uncensored KJ's What Happened over on Odyssey. I did one this past Monday, and I put the link below, and I really want you to see it if you haven't seen it yet, because it's filled with pertinent, important information about the potion. This information, all of it, goes against the narrative. I'd even commented to somebody that if someone can watch this video or all this information and still want that potion, then there's no saving them. Maybe even just 25% of all that information, and they still want it, there's no saving them. Some people are just going to, like sheep to the slaughter. That's what it's going to be. We're seeing that. Anyway. So if you want to see KJ's What Happened Uncensored with all that information, check the link below this player. I'm going to do another one this Monday because even this past week, tons more information. And again, it's stuff I can't really cover on this website, but I will cover it over on Odyssey on the next show. I'll post that up on the website probably tomorrow, like the day before, so you can find it, okay? And that's it. Otherwise, man, thank you for being here. I hope you guys are doing well. What do you think about the afternoon shows? Please let us know. Let me know in the comments sections once this is uploaded. Do you want to continue on Saturday afternoons? You like Friday nights? What do you guys think? And just let me know. Well, look, even though I'm not showing you information on the potion during these shows on this website, there's still tons of information to show. So let's just go ahead and get right into that right now. Oh, thank you, moderators, for being here. Also, huge shout out to my Patreon and PayPal supporters. Also, guys, my new video has to do with the opening ceremony of the Tokyo Olympics. And I haven't even had a chance to see the closing ceremony. So I'm kind of taking my time. I want to see what's in that. And I may add it to this video here. But that video will be up this week. Be up in a few days. Should be. And I've just been piecing it together, but I got a lot to show you on that. Okay, so there you go. Let's move on. Here we go. The Pentagon surrenders Norfolk Naval Base to NATO. NATO's newest headquarters is now fully operational in Norfolk. This is huge. I was in the Coast Guard out in Yorktown, Virginia, which was really close to Norfolk Naval Base. I used to drive through there all the time. Huge base. But this is a big deal. This is from July 15th, so it's a couple weeks ago. But NATO, of course, is an arm of the New World Order. It's more globalism coming into play. Everything forming into one world order. And this right here is a big move. I don't know if they even covered this on the mainstream news. I just stumbled on it this past week. NATO's newest headquarters is now fully operational in Norfolk. Looks like there might be a news story here.
Explains our area's impact on protecting our national security. Military leaders say China and Russia are increasing their presence in the Atlantic, and that's why there's a need for a new NATO headquarters based in Norfolk.
Both have increased their presence in the Atlantic region from the Arctic Circle to the South Pole.
Nice pitchfork.
Proactive approach.
Today, military officials held a ceremony marking the NATO headquarters becoming fully operational. The headquarters allowing the U.S. military to work with allies in defending against foreign adversaries in the Atlantic Ocean.
Being fully operational means we can do our mission that we are assigned.
And the military's top officer came aboard the USS Kearsarge at Naval Station Norfolk to mark the occasion. The chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Mark Milley, says the North Atlantic Treaty Organization is still important to protecting America.
The United States does not fight wars alone. We have an incredible network of allies and partners around the world.
This new NATO headquarters.
That Mark Milley, I've shown some clips on this goober. He's pushing critical race theory in the armed ranks. He's just another one of them. About all you can say about that. It's right here. When I see footage like this, it always reminds me of Jeff C. Jeff would always find this kind of stuff too. Here's a crisis actor in a pile of so-called dead COVID victims, but somehow he comes back to life because he needs to smoke a cigarette. But of course, they're filming stuff like this, and then in between, these guys can take their breaks. This is for media. This is propaganda. There you go. Pretty much says it all, doesn't it? Just moments earlier, they were being filmed. Look at all these dead victims we have, guys. This is a very serious pandemic. Man, I love this guy. I don't even know who he is, but I looked into him. I don't know him personally. I don't love him in that sense, but I love what he has to say. Apparently, this was posted back in originally, what was it, October, it says. Full interview from October 2020. October 2020. And this is what he has to say. This is good stuff, man. He just lays it right out perfectly. Check it out.
Compliance, because they know Canadians like to do what they're don't need a mask. The mask is about compliance, because they know Canadians like to do what they're told. So if they tell you you have to wear a mask, next they're going to tell you you have to contact trace. Then they're going to tell you you have to take the vaccine. And because Canadians like to do what they're told, they're hoping that everyone just complies. And then guess what, kids? Once you take your vaccine, like a dumb person that doesn't know any better, they're going to tell you, sorry, the vaccine isn't as effective as we thought it was going to be. So now you still got to wear your mask, still got to get contact trace, still have all the restrictions and social distancing, and still take your vaccine. And then what did you get out of all of this? You got a whole year where you weren't allowed to travel, your business was closed, they took your rights and freedoms, they forced the vaccine on you, and what happened? The same amount of people died, everything is the exact same, and now they're going to put you back on lockdown and bring it all the way till July of next year, so they can do the same thing again. Bring you from July, August, and September, getting you off lockdown, but just to bring you back on lockdown again. If you idiots haven't figured it out yet, it's a perpetual cycle that you never get out of. And it's a way to take your rights, your freedoms, close your business, take your wealth. Why? So you become dependent on government. Why? If you're independent, the government works for you like it's supposed to. If you depend on the government to give you a paycheck to feed your family every month because they closed your business on you, now the government doesn't work for you, the government rules you. So instead of a middle class, we have the government, upper class, and the lower class dependents that rely on the government to survive. In other words, we have a slave class, and that's what they're trying to do. It's that simple.
Right. Don't you love this guy? He just perfectly laid it out. There it is. Sydney sends in military to help enforce lockdown amid record jump. Oh my goodness, guys. Right. We believe you. Sure do. Is there a video in here? Nope. Despite being locked down for nearly a month now, Sydney, Australia has just reported a record one-day rise in local cases on Thursday as public health authorities warned that the outbreak would likely worsen, inspiring them to once again turn to the Australian military for help. Welcome to the New World Order, right? According to Reuters, Sydney, Australia's most populous city, has struggled to contain an outbreak of the highly infectious Delta. The Delta variant's going to get you. With another economy-crippling lockdown. It's unbelievable. We see what they're doing. Many of us do. It's ridiculous. But again, it's, people get mad a lot of the time in comments, and I don't blame them, but they get mad how so many people aren't standing up and doing anything. And I think a lot of people are, and we see it here on these shows, but we don't get to see it all. A lot of that information gets scrubbed pretty quick from the internet. There are people trying, but on the other hand, you got to think that this world, and especially just speaking in America, America's been under heavy mind control, heavy, especially since the invention of the tell lie vision. Ever since that, back in the 50s, it's been all kinds of psyops and propaganda playing out on that box and controlling and conditioning people into a certain way of thinking and behaving. So now we're in 2021, and you can see how all those years of programming and mind control have really worked. So many people don't want to fight. They're not ready to fight. They're just giving in. They'll do what they're told. They are the triple P, a perfectly programmed person. These methods have been in place against the American people and people in the world for a very long time. So, of course, it's going to have an effect. Anyway, here we go. Australia sending in the military. Pelosi orders Capitol Police. Nancy Pelosi orders Capitol Police to arrest staff and visitors who refuse to comply with her mask mandate. Congress outraged. Of course they are. It's ridiculous. She made it to where the House has to comply. So the House, and then the Congress has to comply, and the House doesn't. I believe that's how she set that up. It's a power play. It's obvious. We see this has nothing to do with health. This isn't about your health. This is about power and control. And this is a great example of that story here. These people are using that method. Facebook and tech giants to target attacker manifestos and far-right militias in database. I already told you, man, I don't think there's that many militias and far-right militias out there. That's just me. They've been using this, the far-right militia, for years, for all kinds of false flags. It's the far-right militias. I'll tell you this, I've mentioned it before. Look up the MIAC report, MIAC report. Also look into the National Defense Authorization Act, and you'll see who they consider in America to be far-right militias and extremists. Guess who? Turns out anybody who's not for this New World Order system that's being put into place. Anybody. Christians, conservatives, gun owners, libertarians, the list goes on. But no Democrats or liberals. Funny how that works. Remington reaches historic, of course. I had to laugh when I first saw this. Remington reaches historic $33 million settlement with families of Shandy Shook victims. Shandy Shook. That's another one of those subjects that YouTube and other social media really started ripping down a few years ago. Some channels were taken down for having videos up. When that started happening, I took down my Shandy Hook videos and I put them up over on my website. Some of my other sites you can find my Shandy Shook videos. That was one of the most important, in my opinion, false flags of all time. Of course, they have the 33, and the 33 is connected with the crown virus as well. I've shown compilations of all these world leaders and governors and mayors. We have 33 victims. We have 33 victims. We have 33 victims over and over. 33 victims. Well, we know 33 is the highest level of Freemasonry. It's a number they've used forever, hidden in a lot of our entertainment, in corporate logos, movies, TV shows, the 33. So, of course, it's a part of this whole system. If you didn't know that Shandy Shook was a false flag and a created event, please start looking into it, and I hope that you can find the information. Like I said, there's a documentary I think you might be able to still find online called "We Need to Talk About Shandy Shook," and that'll really fill you in on quite a bit. Again, back to our friend Jeff C. He did a really good job of making a lot of videos about the Shandy Shook situation. There's your 33. They're getting millions of dollars from Remington. Remington and the families of 9 victims from Shandy Shook, the second deadliest school shooting in U.S. history. Right. Just like Bo Biden's the most popular president in American history, have reached a settlement that was years in the making. All right. I'm just going to move on. We get it. Got it. Biden gets quite the reception from peeved off citizens during Philadelphia visit. riding by in the Beast. They call that vehicle the Beast. Obama named it that. There you go. Moving on.
U.S. President Joe Biden on Tuesday.
Biden announces cyber attack could lead to real shooting war with Russia. Yeah.
Today warned a, quote, real shooting war may result from cyber attacks, and he pointed to Russia as a growing threat.
But I think it's more likely we're going to end up, if we end up in a war, a real shooting war with a major power, it's going to be as a consequence of a cyber breach of great consequence. It's increasing exponentially.
It'll be because of cyber attacks. Excuse me. You think we're going to be seeing any cyber attacks? We already have. I say get ready for them. And this is, once again, why I always go back to being prepared. We talk about that. Make sure you're prepared on some level. Me personally, I believe in having a couple months worth of preparations. And I do. It's taken me some time, but I got it. I got a couple months worth of preparations just in case. And that doesn't mean, oh, you're just prepping for the end of the world. No, I mean, we're prepping for events. They have DEWs, direct energy weapons. They're manipulating the weather. That's why the weather is going crazy. But they keep blaming it on climate change, right? And they utilize these tools against us. Look at some of the wacky weather we've had over the last year, especially. Insane summers, Arctic blasts that freeze everything. I mean, I was frozen where I'm living. My pipes and everything were frozen for almost 2 weeks this past winter. I'd never seen anything like that. It's the craziest freeze we'd had in a very long time. But just, you know what I mean? You're seeing the flooding happening all over the world, all kinds of ways they can do this. And these are devices of the devil himself. I believe that. This is his system. And we're entering that time right now. We're entering that time, where we're seeing the beast kingdom manifesting more and more. And they're setting all this up. This reminds me of when Obama many years ago was talking to a reporter. They mentioned something like America being in some kind of danger. He said, I'm not worried about that. So what I'm worried about is Russia launching a tactical nuke off the coast of New York City and creating a tsunami, creating a wave, wiping out the city. Look that up. He was concerned about Russia dropping a tactical nuke off the coast of New York and wiping out the city. There you go.
Let's talk a little bit about the...
Good stuff here. Critical race theory. Protester goes off. Good stuff here. 2 minutes.
Let's talk a little bit about CRT for a moment. The CRT, critical race theory, a lot of people think it's a curriculum. It's not a curriculum. It's a theory. It's a theory that pressed down has three basic ideas. Number one, our systems are racist. Number two, all white people are racist. And number three, your experience trumps objective truth. Now, every part of that is against our values. But in a lie, there's always just a little bit of truth. Let's talk about with a little bit of truth. Our systems. We have a great system, a free market economy, the Constitution. They're great systems, but were they always applied greatly? No, they weren't. Let's be honest for a moment. When the country started, people like me, African Americans, didn't have the same rights. Women did not have the same rights. But see, the system was good. The application was terrible. As Americans, we fought a war. And I would say, the conservatives at that time fought against slavery. The other side fought for slavery. We need to make sure we're talking about accurate history. See, because the argument is this. The argument is that, hey, you conservatives, you guys are against CRT, you're not for history. Trust me, I'm for history. I'm not for lying. As a Christian, we need to tell the truth. And so the truth is this, folks. Yeah, our system started off not good for blacks, not good for women, not good for people who didn't own property. We fought a war against slavery. We won. We fought desegregation. We won. And now we are living in the best time ever for free market, for freedom, for the application of law. And we must stand against this false idea that America is a racist country systemically. But by the way, if it is, who runs the systems? Who's in charge of the school board? Is it the right or is it the left? Who's running the tech monopolies? Is it the right or is it the left? Who's running Hollywood? Is it the right or is it the left? So if it's the left and everything's systemically racist, then I think you know what you need to do this November. So I want to talk to you about what we got to do. We got to pray, we got to vote, and we got to stand.
I'm with the we got to pray and we got to stand. The voting thing, I'm surprised people still, until they fix that system. We saw what happened with this last election. It's pretty obvious. But some people still believe in voting. What you going to do? This was interesting. This is a clock in Tokyo. Pretty famous clock in Tokyo, the clock tower. And a lot of people have been wondering about this Illuminati card here, combined disasters. And of course the pyramid in the middle, but you see here on the top, you've got that Tokyo clock, it looks like, same spire and everything collapsing. And most interesting underneath here, you've got all these folks down here wearing the colors of the Olympics. I've got the white, green, yellow, blue, red down here. We'll see. Seems nothing has happened yet, but we'll see. Here's a kind of an oldie but a goodie. It's a good reminder to you guys, you know, how much these Luciferians love putting their plans on money. I've always said it throughout the years that the Illuminati or the New World Order, they took paper, they put their plans on it, and they called it money. And it's a spell. We all carry it around in our pockets. Some people will do anything to get more of it. Anyway, this is interesting. Check this out.
Quick thing to show you how these people are evil. All right, the new £20 note, yeah? That is a 5G tower. Can you see the hologram? Can you see the rings going around the 5G tower? That is the radiation that it will give off. And lo and behold, above it is the sign for coronavirus. Can you see it? Right in front of everybody's face. Yeah, there you go. Evil. Look at the hologram. Look at the rays going around it. The colors of the thing. That is the radiation off of a 5G tower. And above it is a symbol for coronavirus.
Yep. Have you guys seen that one before? It's an oldie but a goodie.
Everybody noticed what Kamala Harris.
What's this? Everyone noticed what Kamala did when Biden got lost in the middle of a signing ceremony. Let's find the clip here. And then look how the three stand. Kamala and the awkwardly like, oh boy. Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
There we go. Okay, we already know. We know. Papa Biden. Joe confused starts calling for a mom in the middle of the speech. Yeah, this is a weird one too. Let's find the clip.
Bizarre moment, and it can't be put around clearly. The American Disabilities Act. He was surrounded by disability advocates and bipartisan members of the United States Congress, just as we are today. Speaker Pelosi, welcome, by the way, Madam Speaker. Chairman Leahy, Leader McCarthy, Senator Casey, Congressman Scott, Congressman, where is he? There you go, Paul. You understand this better than anybody does. I want to thank you.
I know the audio's low.
I want to thank you all for being here. Second, by the way, where's Mom? Mom, is she here? Oh, she's watching. Okay, I thought you looked and said, Mom is out there. I was going to ask her to stand up. But Mom, you can't stand up if you're home. But, folks, give you...
And then the audience started cheering. I know you could barely hear that one. I've mentioned that on my last show, my uncensored show. I don't have a lot of options. Some of these clips are just, they play really low and it sucks. But, you know, you got to do what you got to do. Got to work with it. Obama sets celebrity-studded 60th birthday bash at $11 million Martha's Vineyard mansion. I've been looking for clips from this just to see if there's anything interesting as far as any kind of symbolism there, but haven't found much. I'll be doing a little more looking. Germany floods, 600 bodies of children found in the flood, ? Eyewitnesses report a gymnasium in which around 600 child and baby corpses are said to be laid out. This is to be kept secret from the public. Also NTV reports child corpses washed up from somewhere have been found in houses. I found children's corpses in their houses washed up from somewhere further away. And on the other hand, will there be floods again? I mean, I don't know about this source. This is operationdisclosureofficial.com. Not sure. Didn't find a whole lot of news on this, so I'll be still looking out for anything else coming out about 600 bodies of children found in a flood in Germany. Maybe you can find something out there if you guys do a little looking. Lollapalooza to require a you-know-what card or a negative test. I got another story on Lollapalooza. We'll talk about that when it comes up. We already know they're doing all that. 10-year-old held captive and tortured by teens for hours while their mother allegedly filmed and posted on TikTok. There's the little girl on the bottom, and then there's the wonderful mother that filmed her children beating this little girl for hours. Moving on. Mother just gave birth, is harassed by nurses to test her baby for, the Crown V in Australia. This is just ridiculous. This lady just gave birth. Now check this out. Look what she gets to deal with.
Right, hold on. It's my property. So you will, while the baby's in your abdomen. So you're saying that once the baby comes out, it's not my property anymore? Yes, it is on my property. It's not my blood running through its veins. Okay, Stacey, I'm just trying to explain. Well, you're not helping me. You see what you're doing? Right,
Now you're stressing.
No. I'm going to stop you now because I don't want to hear no more of it. Okay, well, that's my duty. Yes, you don't, Janine, because you told me about 5 bloody times and I'm sick of hearing it. I don't need the stress. Once again, oh look, you're stressing out. I haven't leaked all day. Now I'm leaking. Do you really think I need this bullshit about COVID and I've got a risk of losing my baby? Or possibly something...
Exactly. You're more worried about the COVID than the baby. You know what, Stacey? Let's get our stuff and get out of it now, because this is pissing me off. We signing ourselves out now, Stacey, because they're not COVID testing my baby, they're not. So they said they're going to get security if we don't apply now. This is wicked. Do you know this is going viral, yeah? This is disgusting.
All day long, so I am not in your company because I know how you all feel. I know you don't want me here, really. I know you don't want to have to do what you've got to do because of this stupid compliant crap. I'm sorry, when it comes to care for a patient or something, you've got to understand it and listen to what they're saying. You can't tell me that you get to give me the say of what happens once my baby's born. I don't think so. I don't think so. Do you know, I even spoke to a police officer. People like that.
You spoke to doctors with nurses and everything.
You can't do nothing to my baby without my permission. So I'll stop you there. All right, end of.
Man, I'll tell you, Australia is just going full bore with this fascism, isn't it? It seems to be. In the past, I've shown a lot of clips from there, but I had a live show a while back, one of the call-in types, where you guys came in and we talked. And one of y'all from Australia was reporting none of this. Like, you don't see any of this stuff. So, I don't know, maybe that's just in your area. I certainly don't think that all this stuff's hoaxed. I don't think you were implying that either. But it's happening. It's happening. Maybe not in your area, but it's happening. And not just there, it's happening all over the world. Man completely annihilates McDonald's over a Happy Meal mistake. Oh, boy.
Look at all how fast the cars are going through, and then look how long I waited. Okay, you can suck my dick, and then we'll talk later. I paid for food, and I paid for food. I paid for food, yeah?
People losing it, huh? He had headphones on. I was wondering what kind of mind control music he may be listening to at the time he was unleashing his anger there, perhaps. New York City is such a hellhole. Oh, hold on, guys. I guess I didn't tell you. Today is considered one of the hottest days of the year where I live. And Chubbs is out back, and now he's clawing to get in. So give me 1 second. I got to let him in. Good boy. Thank you. I forgot I left him out there. He likes to go out there, lay down on the back porch, chill out. All right. New York City is such a hellhole. Sidewalks are exploding, barbecuing civilians as they walk by. New York really is just going down the crapper quicker and quicker. Don't want to play the music for copyright, but that's nuts. Let's watch this again. Then boom. Whoa, that is crazy stuff in New York City. He made it, which is the good news. But yeah, New York City. Hell in a handbasket. Why fishing gear is out of stock. This is a fairly long article, which I don't feel like reading, but it's just another example of, I told you it's a time of loss we're entering, and it's all by design. Don't worry. You know, if you have Christ, we're going to be all right. We'll make it through. He's got us. The good Lord has got us in these times. And don't be afraid. Don't be scared. We look at, I guess, some news that could be considered scary, but we're detailing the end of the world. We're watching the formation of the final beast kingdom. If you have Christ, you won't be afraid of this. In fact, you may be cheering it on some level, because we know it's good news ultimately. This is not bad news for us. But yeah, the supply chain getting crippled.
Good damn.
By design. This is on Jericho Green YouTube channel. I've been subbed to Jericho for a very long time also. Talking about Masters of the Universe. I didn't know anything about this. I may have some news stories up about this, but it's Masters of the Universe. Kevin Smith, he created an animated Masters of the Universe for Netflix, apparently. I don't have Netflix, so I quit Netflix a long time ago. I'll still find their movies and stuff every now and then in other places when I want, but yeah, I won't pay Netflix anything. But apparently in this new He-Man, you know, I grew up on He-Man. I'm sure a lot of y'all did too, but this new He-Man and the Masters of the Universe from Kevin Smith, spoiler alert, He-Man dies apparently in the very first episode, and then the main character is Teela, I think her name is, but in the series, it's basically a man's body with a woman's head on top of it, so more of that trans nonsense, and she, he, it, they become kind of the central character after killing off He-Man, the guy whose name is in the title of the show. Anyway, all right, I won't play a bunch of it. I'm not even going to play. I guess if you want to go see this from Jericho, this is just something I was watching. You can check out Jericho Green, Masters of the Universe movie review, if you're interested in that. Great clip. 5 minutes, we'll watch it. Check this out.
Lies to you about the media, the corporate press lies to you about everything. They lie about absolutely everything, no matter what hoax they're coming up with. They love their narrative. You guys know it all. Kavanaugh's a serial rapist. The Covington kids are racist. Jesse Smollett was lynched. Trump is working for Russia. All the things that we weren't allowed to, or that we had to say were true under Trump. Now we're not allowed to talk about, just like the endless cascade of ridiculousness. Well, there's this Twitter feed called Libs of TikTok, and they just did a great job here. So what we're going to show you is a 9-tweet thread. The image that you're going to see on your left is what they were saying under Trump, and the image that you're going to see on the right is what they're now saying under Biden. And these are all mainstream news organizations. I'm going to read each headline, and you tell me if perhaps some of these places of journalism changed their opinion because it was their guy in the White House, and now scary orange man was gone. So we'll start with Vox. This is June 2020 on the left. The effect of Black Lives Matter protests on coronavirus cases explained. Coronavirus cases are increasing, but Black Lives Matter protests may not be to blame. Here's why. Okay. Now let's go to January 21. Now Biden's in office. The attack on the Capitol may have also been a super spreader event. Lawmakers may have been exposed to the coronavirus during Wednesday's riot. Okay, so when Trump's in office and it's Black Lives Matter protests, no one's getting COVID. Biden's in office. Now, COVID super spreader. Wall Street Journal, June 2020. Early data show no uptick in COVID-19 transmission from protests. Public health experts say preliminary test results are encouraging. Outdoor locations and masks may have helped. Well, that's wonderful. Now let's go to January 2021, Wall Street Journal. At least 3 lawmakers test positive for COVID-19 after Capitol attack. Democratic House members sheltered in room where Republicans refused to wear masks. So again, Black Lives Matter protests were all good. No more Black Lives Matter protests, protesting over something else. We got a problem. Let's go to Forbes. July 2020. Research determines protests did not cause spike in coronavirus cases. Here's Forbes in January 21. Lawmakers sheltering during Capitol riot may have been exposed to coronavirus. Guys, are you getting what's going on here yet? Are you picking up what I'm dropping? Okay, this is some fine work, libs at TikTok. Very proud of you. Here's CNN, which is a fiction news network. June 2020. Black Lives Matter protests have not led to a spike in coronavirus cases, research says. January 2021. CNN. 38 Capitol police officers test positive for COVID-19 after Capitol riot. My God, COVID knows your political leanings and infects you accordingly. It's incredible. USA Today, June 2020. Coronavirus surges aren't linked to Black Lives Matter protests. January 2021. USA Today. Wednesday's storming of the U.S. Capitol will likely be a surge event for the coronavirus, said Dr. Robert Redfield, director of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. He told McClatchy in an interview that he's worried because thousands of people did not wear masks and have since left Washington for various parts of the country. Well, Robert Redfield, if you're watching this, I would love to know, did you say the same thing when it was Black Lives Matter protests, or didn't you? Because people getting together in big groups, regardless of their political affiliation, you'd think the virus would spread the same way. I'm not a scientician or a mathematician, just a guy, you know? New York Times, July 2020. Did Floyd protests lead to a virus surge? Here's what we know. Epidemiologists have braced for a surge of coronavirus cases, but it has not come yet. How convenient. January 2021, New York Times. Did mixing a riot with a pandemic yield a super spreader event? Members of a mob, many unmasked, roamed the halls of the Capitol. Unmasked Republicans jammed into secure rooms. The outcome is worrisome to many members of Congress.
You get it. We get it. We get it. Med schools are now denying biological sex. Professors are apologizing for saying male and female. Students are policing teachers. Wow. This is what it looks like when activism takes over medicine. Yeah, we get it.
They're reminding New Mexicans to register.
Oh, yeah, here's a little something I want to show you. You may have seen this in the news. First, this is from March 2021. Better Call Saul stars get the potion at Hispanic Cultural Center. So I said there's not a lot of TV shows I watch because I enjoy them. It's usually I'm trying to find what they're trying to tell us secretly. That's what I do. But you know, I am a writer, and I went to college for film school, and my degrees in writing, and then my minor is in editing. So I do like, you know, when I watch movies or TV shows or whatever, beyond the symbolism and the subtext there, I can appreciate a good acting, a good writing, good cinematography, stuff like that. I went to school for this. So there you have it. So Better Call Saul is one of those shows I watched because I did like Breaking Bad, which also, of course, was all about sympathy for the devil. That it's okay to do evil things as long as it's for the right reasons, for the family. It's okay to kill people and stuff. It's for the family. You're doing it all right. It's very devilish in that way. It is. But Breaking Bad was just fantastic crime noir thriller. Really, really good show, I thought. Anyway, they made a spinoff called Better Call Saul about an attorney called Saul Goodman. It's this actor, Bob Odenkirk, and they recently
Were among the hundreds of people getting their
they went and got their, the forbidden subject. But I shared this because then we've got this story here. Now, I don't know if it's related, but I'm watching this one closely.
Out of New Mexico, where actor Bob Odenkirk, the star of Better Call Saul, has been hospitalized after collapsing on the set. Crew members on set rushed to help him and call an ambulance. The cause of his sudden collapse is not known. Odenkirk is a 4-time Emmy nominee for his role as lawyer Saul Goodman, a role he originated on the drama Breaking Bad, and now in his own spin-off series, Better Call Saul, currently shooting its 6th season in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
So I saw an update this morning, and he said that he had a small heart attack, was his words, and that he thinks he'll be doing all right. He'll be better, and we'll see. But I just wonder if it has something to do with maybe some kind of blood clotting or something. Maybe there's a connection to the potion, perhaps. We'll see. Bulgarian national television reports on adrenochrome and the consumers. Let's see. This isn't a very good clip, sorry. It's just one of those where you got to read it. I don't feel like reading it. But anyway, side-by-side video shows Hunter doing you-know-what right here while his daddy is giving an anti-crime bill speech on that very subject.
If you have a piece of crack cocaine, no bigger than this quarter that I'm holding in my hand, $1/4 of $1. We passed a law, the leadership of Senator Thurmond and myself and others, a law that says you're caught with that, you go to jail for 5 years. You get no probation. You get nothing other than 5 years in jail. Judge doesn't have a choice. Under our forfeiture statutes, the government can take everything you own, everything from your car to your house, your bank account, not merely what they confiscate in terms of the dollars from the transaction that you just got caught engaging in. They can take everything. I don't care why they become a sociopath. We have an obligation to cordon them off from the rest of society. They are in jail, away from my mother, your husband, our family. So I don't want to ask, what made them do this? They must be taken off the street.
Powerful speech. Video unavailable, of course. More of this censorship in real time. I don't even know which video that was. This right here is 15 minutes. We're not gonna watch the whole thing. I am just suggesting you check it out. It's on Anthony Bouchard YouTube channel. Swine flu 60 minutes from 1976. Very interesting. How it kind of lines up with a lot of things happening today. A lot of the more factual information they're putting out on this. It goes to show you how mainstream media has changed drastically. Many years ago, at least, there was some level of truth they were still putting out in some of the news, and that's most certainly changed. But yeah, I thought this was really interesting. 15 minutes long. If you're interested, go check that out. Heroic Tennessee pastor says he will boot mask wearers from his church. A Tennessee pastor is threatening to boot individuals wearing masks from his church and is drawing nationwide controversy and praise. If they go through round 2 and you start showing up with all these masks and all this nonsense, I'll ask you to leave, he said. Locke made it clear during his Global Vision Bible Church service on Sunday he is no longer going to tolerate this kind of tyranny, regardless of whether or not more mask mandates were implemented. I am not playing these Democrat games up in this church, he said. I ain't playing these stupid games. A bunch of pastors talking about how much they want to see people heal and they're afraid to baptize people because of a Delta variant. I'm sick of it. Good. I've been waiting on you. Hi. Welcome to the party. I'm so glad you're here. We've been waiting on these pastors. There've been some. There's that one guy up in Canada that's been really lighting the police up, and they wound up following him after church and arresting him in the middle of the highway. Remember that one? But some of these guys are standing up. It's good stuff. We like it. We need more of it. From Disclosed TV, it says, just in, Dell, the computer company, is no longer shipping high-end gaming PCs to California, Colorado, Hawaii, Oregon, Vermont, and Washington due to new regulations on the energy use of consumer electronics. This is that Green New Deal garbage they're pushing through right now. It's in one of their packages they just passed. And look how quick it's moving. It's happening fast, really fast. It says Alienware is an American computer hardware subsidiary of Dell, and same, no more shipping. So they're not sending out that Alienware anymore either. So it's just more of the supply chain stuff too, right? A time of loss. The FDA could be preparing to unleash an anti-supplement policy as early as next year that could eliminate tens of thousands of products from the market in the middle of a pandemic. Recently, the FDA announced that by the end of June 2022, it plans to release drafts or final versions of a number of policies, among them is the new dietary ingredient guidance. It's no exaggeration to say that this is the most dangerous threat to supplements we've seen in decades. The FDA's policy is nothing less than a massive broadside aimed at crippling the supplement industry. How do we know this? An economic analysis estimated that the guidance would result in tens of thousands of products disappearing from store shelves and an industry-wide cost of between $2 billion and $165 billion in animal and human product safety studies to comply with the FDA, and the loss of between 55,000 and 104,000 jobs in the supplement industry. I don't know about you. I'm a huge fan of supplements. I take a lot of supplements. I had a heart attack, some of y'all know, about 4 years ago. And I did a live show on that one, man. They had me on like 12 medications, and the stuff was making me like think weird and not function right. And it just felt terrible. I was on all these pharmaceutical medications. I hated it. Well, now I'm pretty much on nothing except for a bunch of supplements and exercise and, eating right and whatnot. But that's about it. I'm a huge fan of the supplements. Of course, the beast system doesn't want us taking things that are God-given and natural that can help us and cure us. They want to create things to put inside of you that may stave off symptoms for a while, but it's going to give you new symptoms of something else, create another problem. It's all man-made garbage. Give me those supplements any day, baby. We just watched that video basically saying the same thing, showing you the difference between coverage on the mainstream. Like here on CNBC, House GOP leaders suggest without evidence that protests are driving up coronavirus cases. On the other side, COVID killing nearly 3,000 in U.S. every day as CDC warns of surge event from Capitol riots. So you just can't trust the media. You know that. You just can't trust the mainstream at all. Georgia Guidestone's a complete guide. I'm not going to go into this. Most of you know this. I like to add this kind of information in, though. I never try to act like everybody's caught up on everything. Even in my videos, I'll add some every now and then, like maybe a minute worth of elementary information to the rest of us, just because I know there's new people coming in. I always think about the new people coming in. If you're a new person coming in, you've never researched Georgia Guidestones, you need to look into it because it's what's playing out right now. It's the 10 commandments of the New World Order. And one of those commandments is maintaining humanity under 500 million. And that's a part of the process that we're going through right now on the planet. It's just one. So go check out Georgia Guidestones. There's the 10 commandments. Maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. Guide reproduction wisely. Unite humanity with a living new language. Rule passion, faith, tradition. All things with tempered reason. Protect people and nations with fair laws and just courts. I'm okay with that. Let all nations rule internally, resolving external disputes in a world court. Of course, there's the world court. Avoid petty laws and okay, we get it. There they are. There's your 10 commandments of the New World Order. You have it. Cool UFO here. Really cool. Shapeshifter on Dogtooth Media. Check this out.
Oh my god. There's something in me.
It's one of those UFO clouds. They look like a cloud and they shapeshift.
I don't know where it's going. Is it a ship? Look. What is that? Is it a ship? Look. What is that?
Transformers, more than meets the eye. Real life Transformers. Watch how in just a few minutes, a little stream of rain becomes a raging flood in Belgium. Belgium's getting hit by this too.
Oh là là. Oh putain. Ouf. Merde, putain, oh, il y a tout qui arrive ici. Oh putain, regarde. Oh putain. Oh putain, on va être mariés. Merde, la camionnette, putain, j'ai vu l'arriver. Oh putain de merde, non. Oh putain. Merde. Oh putain, non. Oh putain. Oh putain, non. Oh merde. Oh putain, c'est fini. Non, 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 non. Non, non. Faut descendre. Putain, mais ils sont malades, en plus, c'est pas comme ça. Faut finir, gros. Oh putain. Oh putain, carnage. Oh putain de merde. Oh, ça monte de plus en plus.
How fast that was.
Putain, la voiture qui bouge. Putain, la camionnette, faut pas qu'elle bouge.
You can see that car moving.
Regarde. Oh putain de merde. Regarde la voiture qui recule carrément. Oh non. Putain, je rentre. Oh putain. Oh putain de merde.
All right.
Oh putain de merde. Oh, la voiture va se pousser. Hein. Oh, la voiture là-bas, elle démarre.
All right, we'll move on. Got it. What's this? I made it clear that through my lawyer, I would begin to demand the status of all other employees' health conditions in regards to other forms of communicable diseases. We would be demanding information on employees with AIDS, hepatitis, flu, all that. My lawyer already had the papers drawn up so I could serve him the first day he tried it, and part of the suit would be to force the company to make immediate policies to section off employees who had any illness they could spread, including the common cold. If they were going to take responsibility in stopping the spread of C19 in the building, they were now liable for the spread of anything else. Within 24 hours, we were all informed that they would no longer demand to see our papers. Okay, that's what that is. I guess must have been somebody working somewhere, and they decided that they were being told they needed to have papers, I guess, to be cleared by this, you know what. So instead, they decided to demand information on employees with AIDS, hepatitis, flu, everything else that can also be contracted. I get it. Okay. Cool. Here's a National Health Service, you know what, ad aimed at British youth. I'll probably have to save that for my uncensored show, and I will.
So we should honestly.
Here's some of the Kevin Smith stuff. This is over on Nerdrotic. It's another one of those YouTube channels I've been sub to for a long time. I already mentioned earlier what Kevin Smith did to He-Man. It totally emasculated him, destroyed him, killed He-Man in the very first episode, and then replaced him with a transish type character, a male body with a female head, which is a perfect example of what's happening in our world today. It's the inversion of everything. We know this. It's a Baphomet reality is unfolding before us all. They're even going after your children, trying to get them to transition over. All of it mockery, a fist, and a middle finger up to the Lord God.
Honestly, no bullshit. I promise you, on my child's life, and I honestly fucking believe, with my heart, I put my child's life on a very vocal contingency. If the internet is going to say I'm lying or something like that, that I'm baiting and switching or something like that, I can kind of get when people are like, oh, I wanted like more He-Man in this show and whatnot. So there was very little creativity involved.
There rarely is when it's just another franchise sacrificed on the altar of agenda.
Nerderotic.com.
Not going to pretend I'm a He-Man or a Masters of the Universe fan. If I did, well, then I would be lying, right, Kevin Smith? But I did watch my very first episodes of He-Man in preparation for Friday Night Tights, just for reference, and I can certainly understand why He-Man fans are mad. The one thing I noticed was there wasn't any He-Man in the He-Man show. But I'm not here to talk about the ins and outs of the show on Netflix, the same streaming service that brought us cuties. I am here to talk about the bigger picture, the bigger problem. Fan blaming and lying to the audience. Now, when you have to bait and switch your audience, that's a manipulation. That is a lie. When you have to push disingenuous arguments, that is dishonest, meaning it's a lie. When you are so detached from the general populace that you don't even know when you're lying, well, you're lost at this point. Funny enough, Hollywood has turned fan blaming into an art form. They have managed to, for example, blame the fans for being upset when He-Man isn't in the He-Man show, or blaming the fans for being upset when Luke drinks titty milk, or blaming the fans for being upset when they see the Doctor turn into the first female Doctor played by Jodie Whittaker, who we will lovingly call Dr. Karen, and completely destroying the entire canon of the show. What makes this particularly disappointing is it comes from Kevin Smith, who certainly has been a shill for the last 10 years. But it's one thing to be a known shill, and it's another thing to blame the fans, especially when you were the once nerd of the people, or, dare I say, king of the nerds, and you sat on your throne with some dignity for a little while, but now you are just another tool, another cog in the machine, another Hollywood douche.
The thing that everyone's crying about the most, or we're like, where the fuck is, like, this has been the only thing that's frustrating me. Again, I don't mind if people are like, you fucking suck and it sucks. Like, I'm used to that. But in some ways, it just feels like some of these people have never seen a TV program or a movie, yes, ever.
Well, that is a great sales pitch, isn't it? Kevin, imagine you're actually working in your comic store, which I don't think you really do, and somebody lays down Amazing Spider-Man One More Day and says, this is the worst thing I've ever read, which I would agree with. And you respond with, I don't think you've ever read a comic book before in your life. How does that sound? Patronizing? Douchey?
All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop it there. If you want to watch the whole thing, you can go check out Nerdrotic channel. See some more of that stuff. This was weird. What did Bo Biden, the most popular president in American history, just hand this little boy? Was it his dirty face mask? It might be. Let's see.
What does Joe Biden put
Andy Bashir's son Sam. Looks like his mask. Watch Joe Biden's left hand on his shoulder. And he reaches out to hold his hand. Watch right here. And you watch the kid look down at it. Then he puts it in his pocket.
Weird.
Double back it up.
That is weird, right? It's weird. Especially just trying to hold the kid. Who does that? That's so gross to me. Again, I don't have children. Maybe it's different for parents, but to be around some little kid for me and to try to hold their hand, it's so gross. Hey, again, Bo Jiden is a grandpa, so there's that, but still, it goes beyond that. We know there's so many clips of him being creepy with children. So did this dude just give me his sweaty face mask? I guess I'll put it in my pocket. French farmers pour dookie into Macron's residence. In 2014, we should all rebel like this today. This is an old clip. You can see the farmers going by and spraying poo-poo all over Macron's, this is in France, all over his residence. Yeah, they need to be doing stuff like this now. It's good. Moving on. Illinois hot dog stand owner fined for flying the American flag on the 4th of July. Welcome to America.
And they don't like it because they want to bully you. They think you're going to go away.
It's another one where the clip's super low. So let's see if it gets any better.
Henry County restaurant owner says he's being ticketed for flying the American flag in front of his business.
But the village says, and this is Prairie Grove we're talking about, says it's where he is flying the flag that is causing the problem.
Fox 32's Dane Flacco now with the story of a flag fight that's blowing up on social media.
Can't really hear the clip. It's all right, though. We got it. We get the headline. We know this is happening. It's just another example of the dismantling of America. This is from Disclosed TV. PayPal teams up with the ADL, Anti-Defamation League, which is also one of the fact checkers for YouTube. Goodness gracious. Teams up with ADL to uncovering and disrupting the financial pipelines that support extremist and hate movements, unquote. So you know where this is heading. The initiative will focus on white supremacist or, quote, anti-government organizations and those propagating and profiting from anti-Semitism and all the isms, which would be fine if you're really just shutting those kind of people down. But we know this extends to, once again, more obvious soon, but this will extend to anybody against the mainstream narrative. Anybody will be classified as that. This is cool. Have you ever seen Soylent Green? This is the whole movie. It's an hour and 36 minutes long. We're going to watch the opening sequence because it opens in it starts in 2022. Soylent Green's one of those dystopian horror sci-fi type movies where very much a one world government type situation. And near the end, you find out that the way they're feeding the people is through Soylent Green is what they call it. It's actually humans. So they're killing people, of course, and putting them into Soylent Green, which is interesting to think about with the push that we see with little Billy Gates putting so much money into fake meat. And we see that connection with a lot of what's happening right now with the food shortages and supply chain breaks. We see all this money being funneled into fake food. We could be seeing very much a Soylent Green-ish type situation very soon. Some people are hungry. The government comes around with their trucks and gives everybody probably fake meat, right? Whatever it's going to be. And what's actually in all that meat. I'm sure we can trust them. These are the same people who are giving us the potion right now. So don't worry about it. It's going to be okay. Let's check this out. Waiting on. Hold on, I'll stop it. You see what the montage is. It's the world growing. And remember, this is in many ways mirroring our current reality. This movie does. And then, of course, here in a moment, we see the world continuing to grow and grow and grow. All right. If you haven't seen Soylent Green, 1973, check it out. 1973 takes place in 2022, where people are having to eat each other to survive. The government's lying to them. And the opening sequence shows us go through the masks. It's interesting.
This is the resonator.
New body liquefaction unit unveiled in Florida. More Soylent Green. Researcher says it's a pressure cooker, basically, that they can use for cremation of bodies. Oh my gosh. Are we still live, guys? Hey guys, are we still live? I guess not. I guess I'm still live. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear anything? I'm just checking here. Can you guys hear me? Anybody? Yes, you can hear me? Okay, cool. Yeah, guys, what it looks like is on my side, it says stream unavailable, stream suspended for policy violations. So that's where we're at, guys. This is where we're at. We saw this coming for a long time, man. And so what we're going to do, what I'm going to have to do from here on out, this show now is going to have 2 strikes, which means my channel will, which means I can't upload here anyway. So I'm going to have to start doing all of my shows on Odyssey. And what I'll do is I'll schedule, my next KJ's What Happened when it comes up, and I'll link that up over there on I'll link that up for you over on my main channel in the community section, okay? Wait, I'm back. Okay, good. You can hear me, but I don't know if you can actually see what's on there. What do you guys see on screen right now? What do you guys see on screen? Anything? Yeah, you can hear me? Good. You see a Bojangle? Oh, okay. Well, let me go take a look here and see what's up. Oh, I see. So we're back. All right, I guess we're back. Well, in that case, we'll continue for now. Is that cool with you guys? Let me go ahead and double check in the chat and make sure we're all on the same page here. So you can still see me and you can hear me. All right, I want to go ahead and continue for now, and then let's just see if anything changes, okay? So here's the full context. This is Bo Jiden. My butt's been wiped, is what he said. This should be fun. Let's check this out.
Must it be a reconciliation?
What?
A pathway for citizenship.
There needs to be a pathway for citizenship, whether it can be an immigration remains.
That's all. My butt's been wiped. All right. I don't know what that meant, but let's move on. Horrifying robot plays basketball at the Olympics. Oh, and guys, no matter what happens with the show today, I'm going to go ahead. It looks like it's going to be Odyssey for the future. What I can do is link up my Odyssey show, like I said, on the community tab on my main channel. And also over here, I can just do a short reminder. Hey, come over to Odyssey for KJ's What Happened. Okay, so looks like that's where we're at, guys. Dodging and weaving. You know, we got to do what we got to do to stay alive here. This one right here is pretty wild. I found this when I was looking through information on the Olympics opening ceremony. They had this huge black robot with an all-seeing eye was out there playing basketball. Check this out.
Looking to top of screen. Here comes Q. Lines it up. Right side. 3-point. さあ、そしてさらにゴールから離れてまいります。今度はハーフコートショットです。さあ、皆さん、入りでしょうか。こうご期待。From the logo, everybody.
All right. That's pretty crazy. I'm going to jump back real quick and just double check with you guys and make sure that we're all good here. Okay. Let me jump over here. Still good? Okay, good. So you guys are seeing what I'm showing you. Robot basketball. We're cool. We're going to keep on moving, okay? Going to keep on moving. All right. This is not human. It's a robot. Artificial animals have led to artificial humans.
Now, a lot of people don't understand the world that we live in, where we're heading right now.
Let me see if I can find this clip here.
Where a lot of ways tell you that most of the people that you even see on TV, but reading the news.
Apparently, this is a AI synthetic human.
Of course, I'm the first personal assistant built by CyberLife. I take care of most everyday tasks like cooking, housework, or managing your appointments, for example.
And I understand you're the first android to have passed the Turing test. Could you tell us a little more?
Take a look at it, people. What you need to understand.
You know, I just spoke with a few humans to see if they could tell the difference between me and a real person. It was a really interesting experience.
But this is the first time in history that man has created a machine more intelligent than himself.
All right, that's all. I'm just going to show a couple little clips of that. Woman describes totalitarian lockdown conditions in Sydney.
In Sydney, Australia, where they'll serve the Truth Talk News. Do and they hurt you.
All right, I'm not seeing the clip. Let's move on. This, I guess, could be considered kind of a doom break. She was going to see if the shock collar for dogs would really do anything, so she put it on. Probably a bad idea.
So I got this shock collar for my dog. I asked you guys not to try this. It's not something that you guys should be doing at all. At all. Don't see how it works, so I'm going to try it on myself. But do not attempt. Do not. I'm about to put it on. Hold on. It's on level 3. Let's see what that does. Weak. It's on level 30 now. Weak. So honestly, this thing is kind of weak. I'm not going to lie. So I cranked it all the way up to level 99. So I'm going to see if that really does anything. So I'm going to just go ahead and try to...
As she says, do not attempt. Do not attempt. Moving on. 5G is a radioactive weapon. Here's how and why it's pushed.
Can cause cancer, neurological problems, brain
actually collaborate. So hi, my name's Kevin Modis. I'm with the California Brain Tumor Association, but actually collaborate with 10 other groups. One of the groups is emfscientist.org, emfscientist.org. That's 220 doctors and scientists from 39 countries who have looked at health effects from wireless radiation. And from their work and the work of others, we can clearly say that wireless radiation can cause cancer, neurological problems, immune system disorders, and reproductive harm. Clearly, our scientists, along with the other groups I work with, which are composed of people who are developing wireless health effects from their various sources. For instance, people developing brain tumors from their cell phone and the radiation emits. People developing neurological symptoms from the Wi-Fi, from school Wi-Fi. People developing neurological and cancerous health effects from simple smart meters. Smart meters being little wireless meters that are put on people's homes so that people don't have to come by and read the meter themselves manually. So regardless of the source, and cell towers are the most powerful source of wireless radiation emissions, regardless of the source, the health effects can be the same. So what brings me here today is the rollout of 5G technology. And people need to understand that 5G technology is very different from 2G, 3G, and 4G that preceded it. And that is because the wireless radiation is using a higher frequency. Our current wireless technology uses about 1 gigahertz to 4 gigahertz. This new 5G technology is ultra high frequency, ultra high intensity, and it's 24 gigahertz to 90 gigahertz. To put this in some type of perspective, 90 gigahertz is 90 billion electromagnetic waves per second hitting your body. We know people are already getting sick from the lower frequencies, and we expect, that is our scientists expect, that these higher, ultra high frequency microwaves are going to bring people to disease quicker and in a more intense form. The other problem with 5G technology is these microwaves are very short. So our old microwaves were about 2.5 to 3 feet long. These are now about 1 inch to half an inch long, and they don't travel very well. So they're going to have to put a little cell tower transmitter in front of about every 2 to 10 homes. Now this is a big problem because we know that cancer rates around regular cell towers are about 3 or 4 times what they normally should be. We also know that there's neurological symptoms that increase as you get closer and closer to a cell tower. Now these new transmitters are going to be placed close to people's homes. It's going to be continuous exposure as with other cell towers, but it'll be emitting a much more higher frequency, high intensity wireless radiation. So we have a tremendous problem that's happening, and people need to understand that the FCC is pushing this technology nationwide. What's also important for people to understand is the FCC is dominated by the wireless industry itself. And the FCC are the people that are given the responsibility and privilege of regulating wireless radiation human exposure standards. So unfortunately, the FCC, whose chairman, who just left, and they change with every administration, was the former main lobbyist and the former president of the Wireless Trade Organization, CTIA. So the agency that's been given the responsibility and privilege of maintaining and setting our human exposure standards for wireless radiation, and people call this radio frequency radiation or EMF, electromagnetic field radiation, they all mean the same thing, are the people who profit and benefit from the proliferation.
I'll stop there. I'll be putting that into a future video anyway, more of this info, but you can check it out over on Jim Crenshaw BitChute, 5G radioactive weapon. Here's the proof, how and why it's being used or pushed. I'm going to jump back real quick, guys, to my chat. I want to test something out here. I'm going to see, I'm afraid. Let me see here. I'm not afraid. See, I was going to refresh the page, but I don't know if that's going to, let me see. Oh, okay, cool. All right, we're good. So what happened is on my chat page on my KJ's What Happened channel, it said I had that violation, and the show had been shut down. So I opened up another page, and I've got us back. So we're looking good. I'm going to jump over into my creator studio for a second and see if I got a violation here. Let's go back here. Let's go to dashboard. No. Okay, cool. We look good. Hey, man, I guess we're cool. Good. Sorry. I just needed to double check that. But hey, man, thank you guys for hanging out. I'm over here in the chat just saying hi. I see Larry, Andy, Amia, Illuminati Me Reloaded. Man, thank you. You've been around a long time. Brenda, Carolyn. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and move on. All right. Ava Cat, how you doing, my friend? Moving on, guys. Here we go. And here's what we talked about earlier. I showed you the one clip where they're talking about PayPal getting together with ADL and going after people, and it looks like it's already happening. This is Alan Watt, W-A-T-T. If you've never heard of Alan Watt, highly recommend you go check him out. I see him as a philosopher. I'm not with everything he's into or all of his perspectives. I don't think he believes in Christ. I think he might be one of these guys that believes in astrotheology. Like, I think he may have fallen for that stuff personally. But I do like a lot of his perspectives. It's just me. So, you can check him out. Alan Watt, philosopher, has been fighting against the NWO for a very, very, very long time. And it says here, July 23rd, 2021, on the 19th of July, we received the following notice from PayPal. It says, you can no longer do business with PayPal. You're in violation of the acceptable use policy, selling material not in compliance with the user agreement. And he sells all of his books through PayPal. So I guess that's what they did. They got him on that. There you go. Moving on. Crown V could be spread through flatulence, says ministers. So these ministers apparently are saying that you can fart the Crown V onto people. Something seriously wrong with Joe. Ex-White House physician Ronnie Jackson says he believes the president, 78, will be forced to resign or will face the 25th Amendment because he's not fit for office. You think? Bo Biden gets heckled by protesters. Well, let's check it out.
One of the lowest vaccination rates in the country is now, and I'm genuinely complimenting her. That's okay. That's all right. That's all right. No. Let him talk. No. That's okay.
There you go. Okay, this story here, very interesting. All right, do you guys remember this footage here? See this picture? And there's tons of footage out there you can find on Bo Biden being inappropriate with children. It's a thing. I did a compilation video myself a long time ago on it. Many others have done little compilations of it throughout the years because there's so much footage of it, and it never ends. Even just in the last few months, he's had the one where he was giving a speech and he walked over and was telling two little girls he's going to get them ice cream after the show, or making sure they were going to get some ice cream. And then he had the other one where he's giving a speech, in front of the cameras, and he turned and started talking to a 9-year-old girl, said, you look like you're 14 or 16 with those little legs crossed, something like that. So this guy is just a creep. Anyway, this is one of the classic clips. I don't remember the family he was with, but you may remember this little girl here, right? And he was, grabbing her boobies. He was grabbing her stuff, and you could see her reacting and turning around and like, huh? Well, here she is many years later. She's a young teenage girl now, and this is somebody talking to her, and this is what she said. So did Joe Biden pinch you? Yes. And then the other person says, why don't you speak up about it? Why did you delete the comment? She says, I have friends that would no longer be friends if they knew that. And this guy says, those friends aren't true friends then. You were abused by a pervert and you deserve justice, but only you can exact that justice by telling others. And somebody else said, you should speak out about this and tell the world how the president pinched your nipple. And she says, I would do something about it, to be honest, if I thought it would help. But I honestly just think at this point it would just make people angry. And I've already had people calling me out saying I'm lying. This is BS, even though it's not. But I just don't think it would help with anything right now. And this person says, I understand your apprehension. The worst thing, though, is letting him get away with it, because then he can do that to others. I just want you to know that there are millions of us people who are on your side, and they believe you. There's video evidence of what happened, and I believe you. We all believe you. There you go.
Do you see this man right here?
Here's some weird footage I'd never seen till last week. It's from January 2019. Has to do with Jason Momoa, the actor. And he's doing something weird here with his kids. These are his daughters, but it looks like he's rubbing on them inappropriately. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe people are just making something out of nothing, but it's kind of weird.
Right over there. Do you see how his hand is moving? That little girl is his daughter. This video today is...
So I don't know. Maybe something out of nothing. Maybe something. Call for online abusers to be reported to bosses. It's more of that see something, say something nonsense. ABC's hosting. Second Amendment was designed to protect slavery. They want the guns, guys. You know that. They don't want anyone to be able to defend themselves. Most likely it'll be the blue helmets, perhaps. Carmel Clay School Board meeting. I'll let this guy explain a little in the beginning, and we'll just kind of jump through and watch some of these here.
Hey guys, let me set the stage here. What you're about to see is every single speaker that spoke at the Carmel Clay School Board meeting last night, July 26, 2021. They read excerpts from really inappropriate books that are in elementary, middle, and high school, Carmel Clay. So here is every single person in all 3 minutes. I do have a shorter video that I post on Facebook that I linked below, but here are their talks in their entirety. And I will warn you, it's really hard to sit through, which really drives home the point of how horrifically inappropriate these books are for minors. So here we go.
I want to find the ones with the loudest audio, because some of these are a little low. This lady's super low here.
Chapter 1.
She's better.
When I look in the mirror, I see a boy. I see a boy with spiky brown hair. I see a boy with white skin that tans in the summer. I see a boy with one mom and one dad and 2 goldfish. I also see a boy who is transgender. Transgender is a long word, but it means something simple. Trans means going across, like how transportation means going from here to there. Gender means being a boy or a girl, or a little of both, or not feeling like a boy or a girl. When a baby is born, a grown-up says, it's a boy or it's a girl. If a brand new baby could talk, sometimes that baby might say, no, I'm not. When a baby grows up to be transgender, it means that the grown-up who said they were a boy or a girl made a mistake. That would be the parents or the doctor. When I was born, my mom and dad said, inappropriate literature choices available to students. His expression, baby, he murmured. People think that masturbation is wrong or harmful, and some religions call masturbation a sin. But masturbation cannot hurt you. It doesn't result in pregnancy or get passing infections that are spread by sexual contact. Many people masturbate, many don't. Whether you masturbate or not is your choice. Masturbating is perfectly normal. When people masturbate, they usually rub their sex organs with their hands or something soft like a pillow. A girl often rubs her clitoris. A boy often rubs his penis.
You remember, though, this is all for children, like little kids.
But my jaw got really tired. Have you ever given Logan a blowjob? What's up with you? I'm kind of wired. I just gave Doug his very first blowjob. What? It was going away present. See, since I won't see him for a week, I feel very proud of myself. Well, for sure, you can list it right up there with your other accomplishments with straight A's and honor roll, giving head. It wasn't all that fun for me, but I think he really liked it, and that made me happy. But my jaw got really tired. Have you ever given Logan a blowjob? No, I don't plan to. I have odor issues. I can see that. But I was just like, this is Doug and I love him. So I hope you don't think it's bad that I'm talking about this. I just needed someone to process it with. Like, it's a really big deal. Did you spit or swallow? I swallowed, but I don't think I'm going to do that next time. I'll just tell him very politely so he's not offended. I bet he'll be okay with what he's going to say. No way. In case no blowjobs for you, Missy. I don't want.
All right, we'll stop there. I think you get the gist. But just think about how the children are being attacked on all these different levels. All the sexual stuff, the trans stuff, the CRT stuff. This is a classic clip, man. Michael Rappaport's an actor. You may have seen him in things before. Looks like I don't know. I think this is one that maybe I can play. Let's see, because I don't think he uses the word. But to make a long story short, he was one of these guys that was making videos telling people they need to go out and do this, and why aren't they doing it, and they're being weak, and da-da-da, by not getting in line with the program. He got in line with the program, and now this is what's going on.
I just watched Tony Fauci and CNN and Fox tell me that people with the
you know what?
Vaccinated people are now spreading the coronavirus. A couple of days ago, I was yes, I'm vaccinated. A little sticker, yay, I'm vaccinated.
Damn it.
Be a hero, be vaccinated.
Dang it. Yeah, I should probably say, I'll do this one on the uncensored. See, you got to really be careful, man. I mean, that's the time we're in. This is America, man. This is America. This is what America looks like now with free speech. So we'll put that one on the uncensored show Monday, but you get the basic idea. I'll play the full clip on Monday. But now he's peeved off because they're saying that people that have the you know what are super spreaders. So this is stuff that people like myself have been sharing for quite a while. The spike protein, they call it, and how it spreads. The inversion of it all is interesting. The people who are getting the potion, who think they're going to be safe, turn out to be the spreaders. Full clip on Monday right there. Cancel mob calls for Saturday Night Live star Michael Che firing over his Simone Biles jokes. I got hacked. SNL star Michael Che had a brush with the cancel mob after he appeared, and it's funny because these people are the cancel mob. Saturday Night Live is just propaganda for the left at this point. It's not funny anymore. You know this. It used to be amazing a long time ago. Some really funny people came out of there. Entertaining. At least it used to be entertaining when it wasn't political. So political. Now it's all leftist talking points. It's all leftist politics on there. It sucks. Michael Che cleared his Instagram account after he allegedly encouraged followers to submit jokes about Biles, which prompted an online backlash against him. He reportedly claimed his account was hacked, but appears to have deleted the post as well. The whole Simone Biles thing, I may have a story up here somewhere. But she's an example of the weakening of America. She's one of the Olympic people over there right now. I think she's a gymnast. recently had a meltdown and a breakdown saying she has all this pressure on her and how tough it is to be an Olympian. And she's a snowflake, you know, and this is what's happening in America. We're seeing that. This is the PPPs, the perfectly programmed people, programming people to be weak, to focus on what's wrong with yourself and all of your, to embrace, your sicknesses and your illness. This is, embrace your cancer, embrace your this, your that. So the system provides us with all these sicknesses, and they teach you to embrace it. There was an animation not long ago about all the different feelings, and they were all different characters, like happiness, sadness, depression. You may have seen that. Such a mind control film. I couldn't believe it. I'm rambling, I know. Anyway, Simone Biles, gymnast, Olympian, snowflaked out, freaked out over there, complaining about all the pressure she has, et cetera, And I know, right? You're an Olympian. They're supposed to be like the toughest, the best athletes in the world. Not so much. Anyway, guess he got his hand snapped by trying to make a couple jokes about it. Can't do that these days, buddy. You can't. Jamie Lee Curtis says she's proud to watch her son become her daughter. Oof. Well, she was born a hermaphrodite. Did you know that? Look that up. Jamie Lee Curtis, hermaphrodite. I know, you probably think it's crazy, but look it up. But looking at her there, she looks, I know, like dudeish. It's a dude girl. Halloween franchise star Jamie Lee Curtis, a loud gun control advocate, climate change activist, who backed Beau Biden in the 2020 election, have watched in wonder and pride as our son became our daughter Ruby. Okay, got it. Mark Zuckerberg is positioning Facebook to take over online worship services, and his first line of attack is a partnership with Hillsong, which is a total New World Order church. Hillsong. Western U.S. is getting pummeled with deadly fires, flash flooding, sandstorms, drought, and water shortages.
Firefighters escaping deadly flames from the Tamarack fire near South Lake Tahoe, California, just in time. A giant fire whirl caught on camera. Just one of the 86 wildfires across the West, destroying homes, damaging critical infrastructure, and forcing thousands to evacuate. Governor Gavin Newsom declaring a state of emergency in 4 counties, with flames crossing into Nevada, and the Dixie Fire near Paradise, California, exploding into a mega fire, consuming more than 100,000 acres.
Scary. I've never been through anything like this.
In neighboring Oregon, things are worse. The Bootleg Fire consuming over 400,000 acres.
There's still several thousand people that are threatened by the fire. And this is all drier than usual.
Sure, yeah. I mean, everything's drier than usual. We're seeing on the Dixie Fire, it's primarily a fuel-driven fire.
The smoke smothering the entire country. NASA releasing this image Friday, fumes again reaching the East Coast. Thousands of firefighters working around the clock, saving lives remains the priority.
We grabbed as much as we could and got out. Didn't have much time, but we got out alive, so that's what matters.
Out of control wildfires now the norm as global warming continues to pose a threat. What Venegas.
I told you. Did you hear what he said? So I believe a lot of these situations are contrived and created, and then it gives the mainstream a chance to spit out their talking points.
Didn't have much time, but we got out alive.
Well, listen here.
Out of control wildfires now the norm as global warming continues to pose a threat.
These guys, they won't quit. Pentagon begins experimenting with using artificial intelligence to see days in advance. Northcom recently conducted a series of tests known as the Global Information Dominance experiments, huh? Okay. Says it all right there, doesn't it? Or GIDE, which combined global sensor networks, artificial intelligence systems, and cloud computing resources in an attempt to achieve information dominance and decision-making superiority. Another example of how they're going about controlling all information. Los Angeles schools will now mandate weekly testing for students and teachers. Want to make sure they get those graphite snakes up in there real good, I guess. In what is being deemed an extraordinary discovery, astronomers see light behind a black hole. Interesting. Disney actor said he's proud his character comes out as gay in the new film Jungle Cruise. They just will not stop this. They won't stop.
You guys talking about McGregor being gay? Did they tell you that right off the bat? Did you read it, reading the script going, oh, McGregor's gay? When I first read the script.
It's low audio. Anyway, we get it. It's all a part of the agenda. But wait, Disney's for kids, right? Former worship leader Michael Gungor sets off social media firestorm and labeled a heretic after Christ comment. And here's his comment. There it is. He said, Jesus was Christ, Buddha was Christ, Muhammad was Christ. Christ is a word for the universe seeing itself. You are Christ, we are the body of Christ. So more of this New Age nonsense in your mainstream religion, right? 10 disasters that have gripped the world in the past few months. Historic flooding in Western Europe, once in a 1,000-year flooding in China. Countless numbers of birds are dropping dead, Hosea prophecy. 1 billion dead sea creatures, Hosea prophecy. Mega drought, plague of grasshoppers. I'm going to play some of this. It was interesting. It was around the 20-minute mark I wanted to start. Let some of this play out. So it shows you where we're at in, as far as government goes in America. It's been taken over. All right. This is no longer the system that most of us are used to. More and more we're starting to realize that and see this. Let these guys explain what's going on. These are representatives who are going to the prison facility that's holding all of the so-called insurrectionists, unquote, quote unquote insurrectionists from the Capitol Hill situation. Now, again, you already see the hypocrisy in this. We know that everything's inverted. They're making this out to be the worst thing that's ever happened in American history, right? The mainstream is. Meanwhile, cities are burning and these people get out within hours because there's Soros and other groups out there funding a lot of the so-called protesters, the rioters, funding these people and getting them out of jail. We've seen tons of those stories through the years here on the show over the last year and a half or so. Anyway, you get it. Okay, well, this is where we're at. Let these guys explain what's going on. They're going there to try to talk to some of these people who are being held. And remember, a lot of these folks from January 6th are being held in solitary confinement 23 hours a day. They're let out for 1 hour. I've shown you some stories from some of the attorneys on this show talking about how these people are being hogtied, tortured, beaten, abused, even mind controlled, like forced into a re-education situation, learning about woke type history, if you will. Check this out.
They literally ran behind us and locked the doors so that we wouldn't have the opportunity to present our identification and seek a review.
This is a rare time under this administration where prison is used to lock people out instead of
want to know what's
in.
happening
They don't
inside.
want to know.
Apparently, they don't want anyone to know what's happening inside.
Gary, you mentioned earlier, if this is any indication of how they're treating the prisoners, I mean, this is very scary, as you just said. We're more concerned now than we were when we got here. I can't believe this. How do you feel?
I came here with just basic questions. I have far more questions now. I don't know who is running this prison. I don't know what they think, what authority they think they have for locking us out and telling us we're trespassing.
Judiciary Committee, presumably you have oversight of federal facilities like this. And tell me about your experience here.
Well, I expect that my colleagues and I will have specific questions for the Attorney General and the head of the Federal Bureau of Prisons about what the protocols are for access for members of Congress. We've had access to facilities previously. Congresswoman Green recently toured a facility in California, and so it's very unusual for us to have trickery as a part of a normal congressional delegation to review a facility. We're not here to make any judgments on any particular case or circumstance.
We're here to conduct a review, to ask questions, and this has been very devious and very disheartening.
And to be clear, you do not know at this point how many of these January 6th protesters are actually here.
No, we don't have a clear understanding of where everyone's being held. Right? Yeah, we're trying to ascertain where people are, the conditions they're being held, and their access to basic civil rights and basic due process. This should not even be a partisan issue. And as America tries to put forward an image to the world that our systems, that our institutions ought to be replicated and copied, this is a very stark and very grave reminder of the worst that we see of the Biden administration, not that which we would want to present as a model.
What if there was someone in here from your district in Northwest Georgia?
I would have no idea. I would have asked, of course, on behalf of their family, but just as Congressman Gates said, we're not here to get involved in cases. We're just here to assess conditions like we would any other facility that we have oversight over.
But presumably, if there were someone in a federal facility here from Northwest Georgia, you being a member of Congress, you would have just been denied access to see one of your constituents. Is that essentially it?
Absolutely, or their family, and I'm concerned for anyone in this facility. They don't think we're welcome. They think we're trespassing. I cannot believe that.
A lawyer was also just denied entry who was coming to see one of his clients as we walked up.
That is what we've heard over and over. See, that's another reason why we were here to ask. You can't imagine, how can any person, an inmate, be denied access to their lawyer? When I was in California at the detention center at the border, they have full access to any kind of legal supplies they need, books, computers, and attorneys at any time they ask for it. These are people that aren't even citizens of our country, don't pay any taxes, broke the law to come in our country, and they have all the availability to attorneys and help that they need, yet these people have nothing.
A lot has happened in the 15 minutes that we've gotten here. Could you just kind of summarize the events since we've arrived?
We have sent letters indicating that we would be here to conduct a review. We arrived. Congressman Gohmert presented the credentials of the congressional delegation to the guards. They got a supervisor out who spent a great deal of time videoing us and taking photographs of us, and very little time explaining the basis for denying us what normal members of Congress do under normal circumstances, which is review federal facilities. It's particularly egregious with Congressman Gohmert and I serving on the Judiciary Committee that has oversight over these institutions, to be denied. And now we'll be heading back to the Hill to cast our votes, but also to, I think, ripen these questions for our colleagues. And hopefully more Republicans will join us in asking these questions and pushing back.
Don't hold your breath, Matt. But still, it's good to see some people out there trying to do something for the people, trying to help. There you go. Bo Jiden, career politician, 48 years, claims he used to be a driver of an 18-wheeler.
And anyway,
And if
I
we
used to
don't
drive an 18-wheeler, man.
Yeah.
I
That's
got
awesome.
to. And
Bad video there. You heard the audio. Of course you did, Joe. Easy to understand info on the PCR tests. That's one I'll be showing on the Uncensored show. Los Angeles County approves guaranteed income program. So here it is, guys. Of course it's in LA, where everything's collapsing and falling apart under Newsom by design. Los Angeles County approves guaranteed income. Here it comes, $12.04 per month to 150 county residents age 18 to 24. It's how it starts. And you just heard that clip earlier. That's what they do. They get you onto that. I mean, it's chump change. They get you onto chump change, but they get you depending on the government for everything. There you go. House okays. Listen to this. The House okays hiring illegal immigrants on staff, fattens the budget 21%. Government is gone, guys. It's not what it used to be. This is from a website called Godlike Productions. This is just somebody writing all this stuff out. I forgot. This is a long read, but we'll read it. I'm not saying this is exactly what's going to happen or not. but I did like how this person laid it all out. This is interesting. They say, so I don't think the mark could happen today, which I disagree. I mean, it could happen very soon. Not today, of course, but yeah, it could happen. We see the precursors here. Too many are still resistant. Many of the resistant are reading this now. Something huge still has to happen yet to bring in the goats for slaughter. Pre-millennial pre-tribbers say the trigger event will be rapture, and they might be right. That could start the ball rolling, but this is how I think it might play out. I'm not a prophet. I'm just connecting dots here. I'll read this. I think they did a good breakdown. Extending rent moratorium. You know, Biden's not going to allow that to drop, not on his watch. Causes the squeezing of many landlords and the sale of many rental properties by landlords to big businesses who are obtaining cheap money from the federal government. Big businesses buy out more farmlands. Green New Deal is used to close existing national forests from access to general public, unless you have the connections to obtain an access permit, and many former farmlands are converted to protected green zones. People are shuffled into micro apartments. Yes, I've seen that. I put some of that in my movie. Micro apartments in the city, smart homes they'll be connected to the actual home through the internet, through their digital tattoo or microchip, whatever it's going to be. The UN has described this and their publicly stated set goals, which can be found on their website. Geoengineering increases food shortages. In Dubai recently, they geoengineered rainfall using drones to cool off their 125-degree days with laser beams. Geoengineering has been practiced for decades. Graphene in the jab and in foods makes people monitorable and detectable. So yeah, there's all the fake food that's coming. They can put the little snakes in there perhaps. Power outages and cyber attacks. National Geographic in 2006 did a fictional film called American Blackout, and the power outage lasted for a week before government stepped in as the heroes. The preppers in the movie were made out to look like angry white supremacists. Increasing economic turmoil, hyperinflation, deflation, stagflation, it doesn't matter which ones, all are symptoms of a deeper fundamental problem. Social Security runs out of funding. The prominent charismatic leader stands up and offers hope, amasses followers. UFOs, which governments have recently acknowledged the existence of, hover Independence Day style over large cities. The aliens teach us about a new all-encompassing religion. Few would reject it. Would you? The aliens are right there. I would, of course, but millions are going to fall for it. The aliens are right there. You can go talk to them yourself. UFO experts have been mostly silent, but there certainly is a connection between UFOs and the spiritual. Absolutely. The charismatic leader helps the world embrace the new religion, helps calm economic turmoil, feeds the people with food stores and cordoned, robotically farmed farmland. Conversion to a digital dollar requiring an app. China already has the digital yuan. Digital dollar tied to the poison passport. People begin complaining. Digital dollar is inconvenient. And what if you don't have a phone or it breaks and it could be hacked or stolen? So there are calls to use a UV visible Luciferian enzyme, interesting name, as a kind of tattoo impregnated on the hand, or if your hand is missing, your forehead, using an almost painless Band-Aid style that, you know what, with the tattoo being in the shape of a QR code to authenticate you with the digital dollar blockchain. Extremely difficult to hack and self-authenticating. Yep. Regina Dugan told us about that from DARPA and Google. Tattoos reportedly last 5 years, which is close enough to 7 years for them to be relevant. Interestingly, a test was recently developed using Luciferian enzyme to detect COVID. The name of the test, Satan, S-A-T-I-N, Satin, but Satan, of course. You can't make this stuff up. Even if you can somehow avoid selling your property, it can still be confiscated when you can't pay your taxes with the digital dollar. If you don't take the mark, you may starve and be homeless. Can't go to the hospital without passport, no grocery stores because of the shortages. The only suppliers of food are large corporations. Because of the property purchases, the only landlords are large corporations. Can't drive because you can't pay for driver's license fees without the digital dollar, and AI driverless vehicles enforce this rule. Can't ride the public transport if you're not an obedient slave, taking your required semi-annual boost. You know what? Your passport gets revoked. Can't hide in the woods because the Green New Deal sealed off those lands and cameras and drones are deployed to enforce these boundaries. Can't get hunting permits without the passport, and infrared poacher cameras enforce hunting. Satellites watch your movements and graphene makes you magnetically visible. Can't easily find and connect with other like-minded individuals due to massive censorship and monitoring of even private channels, even your own. and you can't leave the country. Drones protecting borders. Already several nations such as Australia and UK are tightly controlled. And there you go. Good breakdown, right? I thought that was a good breakdown from a person named Slowbro over on the Godlike Productions website. Maskless House Republicans protest Pelosi's mask mandate by walking into Senate where masks are not mandated. Once again, it's political games. Antfarta goons get beat up as We Are Israel rally in SoCal, California. El Cajon, California. There you go. Antfarta at it again.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Cameras off, masks off. It's all theater.
We'll see you tomorrow.
We already know. We've seen a lot of those videos. This is teaching your children. God help them.
Today, my student pulled me aside to ask me if I was trans. I said yes, and almost immediately they said, so when I grow up, I can actually be a boy? Honestly, I'm just proud they could say it out loud, because that really takes a lot.
There you go. Make sure you get those kids enlisted in public school. FEMA surge teams. Okay, this one's another one that's going to be on the uncensored, but you can read the headline. FEMA surge teams. Bud Jiden announces new FEMA and CDC surge teams for critical thinkers. White House chatter is that lockdowns for the Delta variant all but a done deal. Virtually all blue states are cooperating. They're aiming for late second week of August, per White House official. This is a fun channel, ATA Boy. I don't know how much of this stuff is real. Some of the channels, Mavi is a good one. He just grabs the videos and puts them up, UFO videos. Some of these I'm not sure because there's some really wild stuff. So I don't know if he makes this stuff up at ATA Boy or not. But I thought this was a pretty cool looking clip. Check it out. I'll leave the audio down. It looks like a person going up in a beam of light. A better shot coming up here. There it is. Looks like somebody going up in a beam of light. And up here at the top, see him again. I don't know. Interesting. Converse unveils designer shoes with satanic symbol replacing the brand's star logo. As this stuff just becomes more obvious, more out in the open. Look at the demonic hands here, claws. Black and white, of course, of course. Where's that other symbol? Here it is. It's upside down, but let me see. I guess, well, I already closed the other page out. But if you look at it up right side up, it does look like a pentagram. Here it does. You got the devil faces on there. All right. Possible jetpack man in sight. LAX air traffic control reports. Flying humanoids, guys. Once again, I showed this story back when it first happened at LAX, they were saying it looked like a human was flying through the air, so they assumed it was a jetpack. And now they have it back. The jetpack man's back. It's from 2 days ago. Another possible sighting of an airborne person with a jetpack was reported near Los Angeles International Airport. FBI investigating a person with a jetpack. When they're not going to say flying humanoid, of course. This is the LA Times. Pilot spotted an object that might have resembled a jetpack 15 miles east of LAX at 5,000 feet altitude. FAA spokesperson said, out of an abundance of caution, air traffic controllers alerted other pilots in the vicinity. Use caution, jetpack guy is back, one guy said. Jetpack guy. Right. China provokes India into massive military escalation on the border. War drums a-beaten. Mark Driscoll, accused of leadership abuse at New Church. It's another one of these big-time pastors accused of being not what they claim to be. Jesus is worth it. Ontario Church fined additional $85,000 for worship service violating lockdown orders. This is the church I was telling you about earlier. And they just keep screwing with these guys. The Canadian pastor whose church has been fined over $80,000 a second time for holding a worship service during Ontario's ongoing restrictions on church gatherings said Jesus is worth it. Trinity Bible Chapel, a Waterloo-based church, was sentenced Tuesday for a worship service held in April that violated provincial restrictions on in-person gatherings. Justice John Krichenko ordered the church and its leaders to pay $85,000 in fines after finding the church in a contempt of court. This includes $35,000 fine for the church itself, $10,000 in fines for the pastors, and each of the leaders of the congregation being fined $7,500. Unbelievable. There you go. Oh, and this is just the Justice Department's trying to tell the Treasury to turn over Trump's tax returns to Congress. Hunter Biden snaps at critics of his art dealings, saying F them. I guess this is a clip. Oops. All right. It's fine. We get it. Biden holds a card handed to him by an aide that reads, "Sir, there is something on your chin." And Joe reads the wrong side. There's a picture of it. "Sir, there is something on your chin." That's so classic. "Sir, there is something." And you can find the clip. It just looked like sweat or something was on his chin. There you go. There's whatever it is. There it is. There's a picture of it. Sweat, something yellow. What do you think?
And expand your capacity is through the partnership that we have, federal and state government, along with local governments. This issue is ongoing each year, as we have discussed. It gets worse. It affects real people. Everything from children who are breathing.
Most popular president in American history. Representative Matt Gaetz implies our own government was behind the false flag on the 6th, demands release of 1,400 hours of hidden video. Good for him. Somebody's trying to stand up, it seems. This apparently is from is Australia? Yeah, this is from Australia. Forcing the potion on people is what they say.
To vaccinate people that are fighting the vaccinations. There's a protest that's going to be happening, and they're catching the people that are protesting vaccinations one by one and forcing vaccinations.
The protest hasn't started yet.
That's in Australia.
It's in Australia. I'm trying to keep the audio or the mic away from me because he keeps using that word, the forbidden word. Let's move on. Truth behind Plandemium.
Hey, friends all over the world.
It's 11 minutes, but it's a really good clip. It's over on LEVTCS BitChute channel, The Truth Behind Plandemonium, 7/27/21 Vision TV. It's highly recommend, okay? Moving on. I'm not sure how the audio is in this, but I'll play some. This woke British lady politely gives NHS, you know what, harasser a piece of her mind. Dang, that's another one I'll show on the uncensored show, just in case. This is a good one. Leftist LGBTQR CIA gamer accused of raping 10 and 14-year-old children. It's not a good one, but it's interesting. It's never good.
As far as the eye could see. And so you have to understand all a disguise for their real, true desire to rape your children. That's what this is. So when you see this guy wearing the LGBTQ plus stuff and waving the pride flag and dyeing his beard pink, it's all a cover. It's all a disguise so that you don't realize that what he's really thinking about is raping your kids. Speaking of demonic possession, here's another perfect example of it, and it's always a liberal, isn't it? It's always one of these acronym rainbow flag liberals that are pedophiles. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Fortnite streamer Raul Zito has been arrested over allegations that he's raped 2 children ages 10 and 14. And so you get a little bit of an idea of who this guy is. And then here's another image of him. He's got his bright blue hair and his bright pink beard, and he's got his shirt. Love has no gender, religion, sexuality, body type, or color. Yeah, I guess so. That's why you were arrested with the allegations of raping little kids. And he even boasted about it during his live streams about how he likes to play with young talents. So he was telling the world that he was a child abuser as far as the eye could see. And so you have to understand, the whole reason why these leftists do the LGBTQ plus rainbow stuff and dye their hair and wear the T-shirts and wave the flag, it's a disguise. It's a cover. So that you look at them like, oh, look, they're good people. They're loving. They're gay. They're this. And really inside, they're just thinking about raping your kids.
There you go. And I'll stop it there because it's like 10 minutes long. But that's, find the title there if you like. It's over on band.video on BitChute. Here's another interesting bit from band.video. And you may not have heard about this. Did you know that we're striking Somalia? America is?
Joe Biden.
I didn't until I heard this week. Check this out.
Very dangerous for U.S. foreign policy, and that even the Democrat Party is panicked over something that has happened. Maybe even including Joe Biden. He might even not know what's going on. Boy, how dangerous is that? Who's running our military right now? Who's launching airstrikes in Somalia, and why? Think about it. Congress didn't even know it was going on. The Democrat Party didn't even know it was going on. I would bet you right now that Biden doesn't even know that it's going on. Who's running the military? Who's ordering the military to make these airstrikes in Somalia? And so the Democrats are like, they find out about this and they're like, what the hell? What is going on? And so here's the story out of Politico. A very dangerous precedent. Democrats take aim at Biden's Somalia airstrikes. You really think Biden's in control? You really think Biden is making these orders? Of course not. So somebody's doing this. Somebody needs to be arrested. Somebody needs to be indicted for illegally striking Somalia. You may recall, when Biden was vice president, he might not remember this, Obama was launching drone strikes all over the Middle East, and he lied about it and said that it wasn't going on. There were no drone strikes. Then you had a whistleblower, Daniel Hale, who released all of the documents of all the drone strikes that Obama had approved and then lied about. He released that. Well, he has now been charged and he faces 45 months in prison. A whistleblower who saw that our government was lying to us, who saw that Barack Obama was lying about airstrikes, Barack Obama murdering people in the Middle East on the U.S.'s name and dime, and then lying about it because he was the anti-war candidate. No, he lied about that too. He's a total fraud. But the individual that leaked those documents and blew the whistle and told the world, no, we are doing these airstrikes. Obama did approve these airstrikes. He faces 45 months in prison.
Of course he does. Of course he does. Okay, good one. Another good clip. Over on BitChute, why is no one talking about Bo Jiden striking Somalia?
Alex Marlowe here, editor-in-chief of Bright.
Good clip here. Babylon Bee CEO. Babylon Bee is like The Onion, if you heard of that. It's a satire site. They just make up jokes and memes about things. Onion was typically more to the left as far as politics. Babylon Bee is more to the right. And they're Breitbart's talking to the CEO of Babylon Bee here. Check this out.
Breitbart News, host of Breitbart News Daily on Sirius XM Patriot, number 125. Here with Seth Dillon, who is the CEO of the Babylon Bee. Wow, one of the coolest games in the game right now. Seth,
thank you. Appreciate
congrats
that.
on all the success.
Yeah, thank you.
A few things I want to get to with you, but first, let's talk about the event where we are. Turning Point Student Action Summit 2021. You're speaking to a crop of younger people, conservatives, a lot of Christian-minded. What's the key message that you conveyed to them or are conveying to them that they need to hear right now?
Well, I'm going to talk to them a lot about this kind of cancel culture censorship stuff that we're experiencing, and kind of the ways that it works out, the ways that it plays out with how they're fact-checking us and smearing us and maligning us, and it is in fact them who are using misinformation to smear us as being a source of it. I'm going to talk about that some, but I'm also going to encourage them, when you face these kinds of attacks, and they are, malicious, ridiculous, baseless attacks, that's an encouraging thing. It means you're doing something right. I think that the fact that we're attracting that kind of attention means we're doing something right. We're striking a nerve, which is very important. And then I'm also going to encourage them to speak up and to speak boldly and speak the truth boldly, because I think there's a lot of people right now feeling so much pressure. I know, feeling so much pressure to self-censor, which is really just doing the tyrant's work for him.
Exactly right.
So I'm going to talk about that a little bit too.
Yeah, and this is a very similar theme to what I talked about, is that how I'm trying to convey to people that it's worth it to be out and to be bold and to paint bold colors, because you can go and have a life that's a righteous life, a satisfying life, and you feel free. And if you are really holding back too much, then you're not really your full self.
Right. That's true. And it's not just that you're not your full self, it's that we're in a battle right now, and you can't sideline yourself in that. I get criticized sometimes when people tell me that my tweets are too divisive, or the Babylon Bee is too divisive. We should be uniting around what we have in common. It's like the left is trying to transition your children without your consent, and they're trying to teach kids to hate each other because of the color of their skin. And when that kind of stuff is going on, sidelining yourself and removing yourself from that conversation is not the solution. You're not helping anybody, least of all your own children. So.
Yeah, no, it's amazing that their current obsession is to try to convince non-racist kids that they're actually racist and they should be angry about it.
Right, exactly.
It's amazing that this is it. Of all the things they settle on, of all the problems facing planet Earth right now, this is the one they think is the most urgent.
Let's make them racist sooner.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's unbelievable. And so this is where you guys come in using a humorous approach.
Yes.
You have satirical headlines. And I got to tell you, when I was at Berkeley, I would read The Onion over my, chicken tikka masala, and I would laugh, and I would know that they're not with us. They're on the wrong team.
Yeah.
And
but they were funny, though.
They were funny, and less funny now, but they got some good ones. And finally, we're doing our own thing. Well, you guys are doing our own thing for us. I'm shocked you're the first, and yet I'm thrilled you're the first.
Yeah. Well, it is. I don't know how I think what's shocking is that there aren't more people doing it.
Exactly.
And I'll say this for a number of reasons. The left has created an environment that's ripe for conservatives to stand up and fill this gap. And the gap that they've created is one where they've got all these rules about things you can't joke about, all these things you can't say. You're not allowed to punch down. You're not allowed to make jokes about women because they're beneath you, right? You can't punch down at them. And that kind of stuff, these kinds of rules, it's like, this is ridiculous. For one thing, you're reinforcing the very kind of misogynistic or sexist thinking that you're supposedly attacking by telling me that I can't punch down at women. I don't think women are beneath me, But they make all these rules for comedians to follow, predicated on this idea that we shouldn't be offensive. We can't be offensive. But what comedy does is it makes fun and light of things. That's the job of comedians, is to make fun of those stupid rules and the stupid people who make them. And so with left-wing comedians feeling like they have to follow these rules and not actually do comedy, they are a joke at that point when they're censoring themselves for that reason. but they're creating a huge opportunity for people who are willing to make the jokes you're not allowed to make anymore and say the things you're not allowed to say anymore. So I'm actually shocked that there aren't more people like us doing what we're doing and doing it successfully. And I hope that they get, I hope that they inspire people too.
I agree. Good stuff, sir. And moving on. And even with that, once again, I there should be a lot more people, like you said, moving into these spaces and fighting back in that way with humor. Why not? But it's not that people haven't tried, because I remember back just over the last year, we've seen a lot of stories of, again, how these big social media companies were wiping down anybody who were, making memes, that were like pro Orange Man or anti the other side. And we already know these people are being censored. It's not like there haven't been people out there trying, and it's not like there's people out there still trying. It's just a lot of them are being removed. We just had a close call on this live show, guys. I mean, you see it. This is real time how it works. This is a really wild video here. It's just kind of cool to watch. Let's see if it plays for us. All right, check this out. This is pretty crazy. Crazy, huh? Little guy makes it. All right. Moving on. Miley, here it is. Miley Cyrus. Miley Cyrus. It's a fashion high note and a very leggy Gucci. Who gives a crap? But it's kicks off the first night of Lollapalooza with Juicy J, Wiz Khalifa, and Billy Idol. I'm okay with Billy Idol. I don't like rap and hip hop myself. Not a fan. Closest I've come is probably Rage Against the Machine. Maybe that's probably the closest I've come to listening to hip hop and rap and really liking it. I just don't like it. We're inundated with it. It's in everything, every commercial and every movie trailer, and it's just I'm tired of it. I didn't like it at the beginning. I don't like it now. I love music. No offense to y'all out there. I just don't like that type. Which brings me to Lollapalooza, which used to be super cool. I've been to Lollapalooza. This is way back in the day. The last one I went to, Weezer was there. That was probably one of the most mainstream bands there. It was mostly alternative acts, really cool alternative bands. A lot of bands that aren't even around anymore back when I went, but it used to be cool. It used to be kind of the alternative stuff. Now it's all the mainstream Illuminati garbage. It's just not really. Miley Cyrus at Lollapalooza, that would have been unheard of in the old school Lollapalooza. Now, this is what you get, I guess. Ugh. There you go. There you have it. They say this is one of the best speeches they've heard from a politician. Then let's check this out.
Madam Speaker, you are not God. Your will does not bend the forest or shake the mountains. And let me assure you, your will does not bow the knee of millions of my countrymen who refuse to heed your callous command. To threaten arrest on others for their own personal medical decisions is nothing short of a medical apartheid, and I will not let it stand. For if I am to cowardly bend the knee here like those on the left wish, then what is to stop you all from taking your tyranny to the rest of this country that I love? How dare anyone in this institution attempt to dictate to the patriots of my staff how they may live their lives? For one to think that because they have the title honorable attached to their name means that they may dictate what others may say and think repulses me. What makes this nation special is that in this free land, the people are the royalty. So arrest us if you will, but I will not cower and I will not bend. Madam Speaker, you have come to take away our liberties. But Madam Speaker, in this country, you are outnumbered. With that, I yield back.
Well done, sir. Obviously in reference to the whole mask thing. All right. I don't know if this guy's going to use the word or not. Hoping not. But I did like this. This is from Turn Off Your TV News 4. This guy knows exactly what's going to happen next. It's only 50 seconds, but check it out. It's good stuff.
So this is how it's going to go the next year. You see, they're going to give us our summer. They're going to let us feel what it's like to go back to normal. And then in fall, they're going to pull the rug out right from underneath everybody. You see, because the people who took the you-know-what are ticking time bombs. And they're going to start getting infected again from this disease to a much higher capacity. And there's going to be a lot more deaths because of the you-know-what. Not because of the ones who didn't take it, but because of the ones who did. However, what they're going to pull is that the people who didn't take it are the reason why people are dying and not the other way around. It's very sinister and it's very cunning. So enjoy your summers, guys. Enjoy your time with your families while you still can, because ultimately the plan has already been set in motion. It's very clear that this is the final plan to destroy all world governments and economies and usher in the new world order.
Amen, my brother. Amen, my brother. Ooh, this is Chinese female athletes go viral after being accused of, quote, looking like men. You think? You think? Everything's inverted. Symptoms of the beast system, I say. This is just, it's madness. It's honk honk. Hi. Isn't she beautiful? Come on, guys. We know. That's a good one. All right. There you go. Moving on. Oprah's wild and sexy photo shoot. Just a couple clips, just a couple images here. Every time I look at this being, there's a clip I did, and this is probably back in like 2013-ish, 14 maybe. You can look it up on my channel, or my main channel. Go to the scariest movie ever. You can go to the search and just look up Oprah, O-P-R-A-H, or Oprah Eyes, and check out that clip. And she revealed herself many years ago, and I'll never forget it. So I've never looked at this being the same. But look at that picture right here. I mean, that's like, this is on the show. This is one of the pictures. Is that not obviously photoshopped? Oof. Seriously, is this not obviously photoshopped? Can you not? You guys have to see this. I know you do. Am I right? Am I wrong? I don't know. It's just weird. Another one. This is on the show. They're saying these are her actual pictures. Something's off. Eek! I don't know. That can't be. Anyway, please go look up that clip if you've never seen it. You need to see that. This is a really interesting shape-shifting UFO. It's from a couple days ago.
Chalovitz presenta en las redes sociales una imagen de un objeto de forma muy extraña. Este se mueve horizontalmente en el cielo y presenta una especie de energía que en algunos momentos es proyectada desde su estructura. La toma está siendo realizada al caer la tarde, en esos momentos. Veamos con atención. El objeto es
Transformers, for real.
Y se mantiene de forma vertical. El 19-21 se registró una grabación a plena luz del día, donde se observa también a un objeto de las mismas características. Este permanecía de forma vertical, a no menos de 100 metros de distancia de la zona habitada. En todo momento permanece sin moverse, y si lo comparamos con la grabación del día 24 de abril del 2021, también en California, podemos ver que el patrón en ambos objetos es similar. En la comparación que realizamos, se puede ver con toda claridad el gran parecido en ambos objetos. Llama la atención cómo este tipo de tecnología desconocida se presenta cerca de las zonas sobre Los Ángeles, California.
Interesting, eh? Another shape-shifting UFO. This is from yesterday.
A beautiful look at Edmonton this morning. It is a Friday. Eyes to the skies this morning. And seeing this. This happened. I'm sorry.
What is that?
There's a passenger on the plane, looks out the window, grabs the phone. This was filmed in June. The traveler sees that. An object apparently changing shapes in seconds. Is it a shape-shifting object? Is it Bezos? Is it Branson? What is it? Is it a UFO?
Mel, go for it. What do you see?
I have no. Okay, I'm looking at this for the first time. I want it to be surprised.
Whoa!
What was that?
No way!
Okay, so
It's like a massive light being, huh?
it could be anything. Honestly, here's the thing. Like I don't know what that could be. There's someone said I read this little bit online, and someone said that maybe that's just the reflection of the window of something or other, right? Like that it's catching the light. Funny.
Well, if you ever look through the window, there's always a little kind of hole, right? On the second
Right. Yeah, it's a reflection. You get this lady here.
Looking out your window and
Seeing this. Yeah.
You need an angel.
Yeah. And then, no, man, that's crazy.
Here's the thing, D. If you're filming that though, aren't you narrating like, oh my gosh?
All right, moving on. It's from Mavi. It's a long clip. We'll just watch some of it. Mavi 777. It's from yesterday. I think it's pretty much the same thing, so we'll move on. Here's another one of those where the sky is changing color. There was a one clip we found, this is probably 6 months ago, where they discovered it was a grow house that was causing a reflection up on the sky. But since then, every time you see something, people are like, it's a grow house, it's a fair, or it's the downtown area, but it's not, because this anomaly has been happening a lot. I'm not sure about this one. A lot of the ones you can see it's happening up in the sky. This one's on a horizon, so maybe it is something on the ground, perhaps in this case, but there's plenty of examples that aren't. And a lot of them are purple skies. I've done videos on that throughout the years. And I mean, the most famous to me is the one in the Philippines. They filmed something up in the sky beyond the clouds, purple, glowing purple, for several minutes. And then at the end, it just clicked off as if it was like a light switch. The entire thing just went click and disappeared. It was interesting. But we've seen many, many examples throughout the years on these shows of skies turning purple, multicolors. And we'll check this out. So I think there's another one after this. Yeah, then after this, we have a bit of an example of what we call the ghost lights. That's what I call them around here. I don't think they're ghost lights. It's either something to do with blue beam. Maybe there's some kind of a preparation there, or perhaps it is the spirits up there showing themselves in a kind of a soft disclosure and preparing people all around the world for, the arrival. All right, so there's that. Not a big deal, the orange one. Again, I'm not crazy about this when they're on the horizon, but it's all right. Just figured I'd show you. Got to look closely on this one. You'll see some of the ghost lights up there moving around, see them dancing around. We've seen these before, too. kind of see him there, can't you? A little bit. And that was it. And moving on. Yeah. Is there another one on here? I think that's the main one. It's the same ones we just saw, just they're manifesting different colors. You know, it's, to me, when we see this particular type, it's the same thing. It's the interdimensionals, the real transformers. All right, moving on. It's a pretty crazy capture. Check this out. Interesting UFO here. Is that an interdimensional transforming into a solid type object? Looks like a ship. We've seen that before. Or is it an actual ship? Maybe something that the government's testing out. A secret spacecraft. Not so secret, I guess, but it's a kite. You know, I don't think it's a kite. You got to look at how far away these things are when you get kind of a shot like that. How high up some of these are. Plus, you would like to think that people have enough common sense, you know, but you don't see a string like that. A drone, I don't know. So we don't know how big that is. It's probably enormous. She can capture it, and it looks that big from that far away. There we go. See, that's what I needed. Right. Okay. So not a kite. Okay. Most likely not a drone. That's really high up there. I'm glad she did that. That's good.
Estático, totalmente estático, no se mueve. Nada, no se mueve.
It's a really good clean shot of it. Oh, weird, huh? That. All right, moving on. BBC headline hails Simone Biles as superhuman. This goes back to Biles made headlines when she pulled out of 2 Olympic gymnastics events after making an error in one of her performances, abandoning her team and letting down her country. She later cited both social media pressure and, quote, mental health as reasons for withdrawing. Some questions why an elite athlete trained to perform at the highest level would give up so easily, suggesting that her reasons for doing so may have just been a convenient excuse for poor performance. However, such people were denounced as monsters by vociferous mobs of people who insisted that Biles be seen as inspiration, heroic, and courageous. That's that inversion of everything, man, in this world, right? The BBC went further, choosing to lead with the headline that Biles' behavior was superhuman. That's just the madness, right? Welcome to the circus. Iceland's chief epidemiologist suggests that the C-19 restrictions could last for up to 15 years. Biden loses it with reporter who dares question the mask mandate flip-flop.
He said, if you are fully vaccinated, you no longer need to wear a mask. He didn't see I have said that fully vaccinated in an area where we do not have. In May, you made it sound like a vaccine was the ticket to losing the mask forever. And that is true at the time, because I love the people who were going to understand that getting vaccinated made a gigantic difference. And what happened was, the new variant came along, they didn't get vaccinated, it was spread more rapidly, and more people were getting sick. That's the difference.
I don't know if that made any sense, but it usually doesn't with him. Actor vows to identify as trans vegan following revelation plant eaters could avoid a mandatory potion. Outer space to be solely the dominion of gays and trans. Washington, D.C., July 30th, 2021. According to a growing number of astronomers, physicists, and major scientific journals, anyone who is not sufficiently pro-LGBTQ should be denied a presence in the cosmos. There's a movement afoot within NASA to rename the much-anticipated $8.8 billion yet to be launched James Webb Space Telescope. Why? As a State Department official in the 1950s, James Webb opposed employing gays and lesbians, viewing them as security risks susceptible to blackmail. Webb went on to become the 1961 head of NASA, where he oversaw the Apollo, the Antichrist program. Oh well. Moving on. Canadian team with trans player to face off against USA in soccer semifinals, of course. Professor apologizes to medical students for being offensive, saying only women can get pregnant. Honk, honk. Virginia recognizes the first non-binary Eagle Scout in the region. And we end the show with another honk, honk. So, let me jump over here to the chat for a second. Make sure we're still doing all right. Hey, guys, thank you all so much for being here, man. Looks like we made it. Actually made it through a show, man. We had a close call there. You may have joined us late, but halfway in the show, it got stopped by YT for a violation of their policies. But after further checking, it looks like we're good. We made the show all the way through. Every live show I do, these shows and others, immediately I upload to the scariestmovieever.tv. Then sometimes I'll put it up on other places. But I always put it there because that's the one spot where they'll never be able to take these away and remove them. Okay, so these other spots, there's possibilities. We don't know, but I still post things up all over outside of YT. So if you didn't know, please check my links below. Stay up to date on all my videos and shows down there, especially my website would be the best spot to go to. But I've been very active off of YT, still making all my videos. I'm working on a new one now about the Tokyo opening ceremony, and I may wait till I see the closing ceremony and just do a big, massive video. And it's a narration where I'm talking, so it's a lot of stuff to show you. So that video will be up this week. All right, won't be too long, sometime over the next few days. I'll be doing another uncensored KJ's What Happened on Monday on Odyssey. I'll post that up on the website and other places tomorrow. If you missed my uncensored show from this past Monday, please look below. I left a link for you. It's my Odyssey link. Go check it out. It's all the potion information I'm not allowed to talk about here. And it's 3 hours or so, I think it was that show worth of it. So please check it out. Share it with people that need to see the information, okay? I'm going to do another one, like I said, this Monday, because there's a lot of stuff that popped up this past week I want to share with you that I simply can't hear. But I'm glad we made it through. I want to thank the moderators. As always, y'all always do a great job. Thank you for being here. And, I can make moderators over on Odyssey only after the show's uploaded, and I have to go to their name to do it. So I got Tamara, but Mia, Blake, Taryn, if y'all get a chance next time on the next live show, if you're there over on Odyssey, near the end, just maybe leave a comment or something. I don't know. So it shows up in the comments section after it's uploaded, and I can make you a moderator there. Okay. If that makes sense. If I find another way, I'll do it that way. Also, big shout out to my Patreon and PayPal supporters, guys. Thanks so much, man. Y'all, thank you. Just thank you. You keep me going. As you see, it's not that easy these days just to share information. That's what time we're in. So it means the world to me. The Patreon and PayPal supporters, people who've mailed things, sent things. Thank you so much. Man, I appreciate you guys so much. We'll continue the fight, man. We're going to continue. As of now, I guess I'll plan this show, the next KJ's What Happened, for next Saturday at 2 on this channel. We'll see how it goes. If this channel gets beaten down again, looks like we can always go to Odyssey to do both shows. See, or maybe just a single KJ's What Happened eventually over on Odyssey with everything uncensored and, not. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see how it plays out, man. I got to play it by ear, be a leaf on the water, and just kind of flow with it, I think that's about it, man. All my links are below. Check them out. Check out thescariestmovieever.tv if you want to watch my shows and videos. I'll be putting more of my older videos up there as well, just to fatten it up over there. I've got maybe 100 videos and shows up there now. Working on that. Free live chat 24/7 down below. Check it out at Discord. Okay. Go have conversations with your friends over there. Meet up with people, whatever you like. Okay. It's there for you. All my links to my other social medias down there. Please check all those out. Maybe get with me on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter. I'm on everything. Okay. So, I think that's about it. I like to end all these with a prayer. So I'll just say, Heavenly Father, thanks so much for spending this afternoon with these great people, sharing information, and just being together, as one. I really appreciate it, Lord. And please be with us all right now. Of course, these are crazy, wild times. You, of course, know that. But we know you're with us, Lord, so please keep guiding us, keep us from fear, help us to be strong and be warriors for you at this time, and be protectors, and to really help to fight back against that evil any way we can. And on that note, Lord, I love you, and in Jesus' name I pray, amen. All right, guys, thank you once again for spending the afternoon with me. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I'll have another KJ's What Happened Uncensored on Monday over on Odyssey. If you haven't seen my last one, check the link below. Please share that with people. And, oh yeah, my new video will be up a couple days or so. Okay, it's all I need. And I can't wait to show you what I found, as always. So, hey, that's it, guys. Much love to you all. Take care, and I'll talk to you later.